What up? It's Monday night. Kicking the week off right. The Vultures is out. It's Vulture season. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I got the Yay sweater on, the Yay hoodie on, which pretty much means an old black hoodie with paint all over it. That's the Yay hoodie. And we can put our mask on. I have too much hair. I have too much hair to do the mask thing. I have to pull the hair out through the front. I have like a black shirt. I should have made a mask. I should have made a Jason mask. But it's Easter. It's like, you want to wear bright colors because it's Easter coming up? Or do you want to go vulture style for the vultures? The snake, the rat, the cat, the dog. How you going to see them when you're living in the fog? Hold on one second. Is this live? Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Cool. Check. Red leather, red leather, red leather. All right. We got a little show today. Not a whole lot. I was putting this together during a stream while I was listening to music the other day. So if you're up late listening to music with me a couple days ago, then you got to see the process. So it's the last show of Women's History Month. For the ladies, we'll talk about a great lady, Candace Owens. Is she based? Is she coming around to the dark side? Is she joining the empire and leaving the rebellion? Looks like she might be. Could it be a grift? I don't know. We'll talk about it. My theories about who's going to replace Candace at the Daily Wire. It's not big news, but this is what we're talking about this week, I guess. That dude rapping was tight. Oh, the dude rapping was tight. Yay? What's up, producer? What's up, Yoda? All right. So yeah. Candace Owens, Daily Wire stuff. Biden's government shutdown and his new spending bill. I wrote down 1.2 trillion. It might be 1.2 billion, but I'm pretty sure it's 1.2 billion spending bill to keep the government from shutting down. Where's the money going to? We'll look into that. Get caught up on it. I was going to do a section about the plane crashes, but I think we covered that before, and there's only one story, and it's an update on the Alaska flight where the door flew off. There's an update on that story, so we'll talk about that, and I guess just the state of transportation and butt gig and all that crap. And then in rapid fire, we got some news and stuff. We got some stuff in rapid fire. And then in rapid fire, we'll talk about the new Vultures album. It's like 2 weeks old. I'm a little late on this, but I've been giving it some listens. My thoughts on the Ye and Big Boy interview. Old news. This all happened 2 weeks ago, but it took me a while to get to it. So we'll talk about that stuff. And then to end the show, we're going to wrap up just looking at the true meaning of Palm Sunday. Yesterday was Palm Sunday. And this Friday will be Good Friday. And this Sunday will be Easter. So, and hopefully the Friday or the Saturday stream, we can color some eggs. We can dye some eggs. Dye some eggs like the alleged pagans, but actually the Catholics started. Hot 94 played the big on Hot 94 you played the video of the big guy spitting fire. Oh, Big Boy, when Kendrick was garbage and then Big Boy came in and had to save him, that was funny. Okay. All right. But first, I gotta get my soundboard. I gotta get the soundboard. Where's the soundboard? We needed some sound effects in this piece. We need some sound effects in this piece. How's everybody's day going? Okie dokie. Soundboard's not opening. Where is it? We're gonna Control Alt Delete this piece. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, I can do it. I can do it. Where is it? 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 I gotta close the old voice mod. I gotta end task. I gotta restart it. And then we'll have a soundboard. Here we go. There it is, loading up. Loading up. I need an opening intro song. An intro opening song. Why does it do that? Where did it go? Oh, here it comes. Okay, cool. Okay, it's time for the show. Ooh, that's loud. That's loud. That's loud. That's loud. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. So, Women's History Month is over. Before we get into the Candace Owens stuff, let's just give a shout out to some great women in history. Helen of Troy, beautiful Helen, Helen of Argos, daughter of King Menelaus of Sparta, basically started the whole Trojan War, the Spartan and the Trojan War, led to countless deaths. Beautiful, beautiful, but led to some problems. And Cicero, elements of her putative biography come from classical authors such as Aristophanes, Cicero, Euripides, and Homer. Her story reappears in Book 2 of Virgil's Aeneid. In her youth, she was abducted by Theseus. A competition between her and her suitors to her hand in marriage saw Menelaus emerge victorious. Anyway, the point is, Helen of Troy led to some wars. A bunch of wars. They say that Christians start all the wars. I think the majority of wars are started over women. Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc cross-dressed and got killed for it. And then the story was told that she was some great heroine warrior. Really, she was just a cross-dresser. She was just a cross-dresser. It's Joan of Arc. Happy Women's Month, Women's History Month. France. If you think anything good came from France, you should do a little more research into the topic, because Joan of Arc was not some great warrior woman that people thought. It's almost like the stories get twisted a little bit. She was really just a cross-dresser. And that's generally how the cookie crumbles. Okay. So, happy Women's History Month to all the ladies. Shout out all the ladies. Joan of Arc, Helen of Troy. And in honor of ending Women's History Month, we got Candace Owens, Jenny from the block, going controversial, making a big splash. Or is it? Is it a big splash? Is this a big splash? Is this Candace Owens thing a big deal? Or is it just an op and they're using optics to help out both the Daily Wire and Candace Owens? Does anyone recall, like 4 months ago, when Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro were arguing, and he got up on the table and he was talking a bunch of crap about her. And then she went on Tucker Carlson's show and she was talking crap about him. But she was talking crap about him pre-recorded before the video of him coming out on the table came out, and they dropped both of them in the same day. Do you think that wasn't intentional? Because I think back then, anybody knew it was intentional. It was intentional. And we talked about back then how her contract with Daily Wire was ending. So she was going to be leaving Daily Wire soon. And that they were basically doing a fake beef before she left in order to boost up her popularity as she leaves and Daily Wire's popularity. So, as far as her getting fired or quitting the Daily Wire, you'll read different articles. We'll see headlines here. CNN saying that she severs ties with the Daily Wire. We have other articles, parts ways. I've seen some articles that say she's out, she quit. And then other people are saying that she got fired. Most people are only using that as clickbait because she did not get fired. Technically, she didn't quit either. She wasn't ousted. She wasn't outed. Her contract ended, and they simply didn't renew it. Now, what's all the controversy about as she's leaving the Daily Wire? Which is, it's all planned. Remember, it's all planned. This is my psycho theory. All this controversy, this lead up, was planned as soon as October 7th happened. And Candace started taking the less popular, especially on the Daily Wire, position of not 100% full support of Israel. Candace started saying, maybe we shouldn't be sending all this money to Israel, and maybe we should be America first. None of the stuff she's saying is original. None of the stuff she's saying is new. It's all old stuff that people have been saying forever. And maybe, there's this deep, dark, based monster inside of Candace that's been waiting to get out, but it couldn't get out because she was working with TPUSA and she was working with Daily Wire. I believe she was working with Prager at one point. All small hat people, just saying, all ran by small hat people, just saying. So maybe she didn't have the freedom to talk about these things, and she knew that since she's leaving the Daily Wire, she could talk about it now. Or maybe she's saying it now because it's popular to say it now. That's my theory. My theory is that Candace reads the script that's in front of her, and she's about to be out of contract and be independent, for real independent, for the first time in her life. So she can say what she wants to say. And it's popular right now to say this stuff. She wasn't saying this stuff, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, when people were getting banned for saying it. But to be fair, she was with Kanye on Kanye's little when Ye was going through all his stuff, going DEF CON, she was there standing by Kanye. So maybe she is secretly super based. But I'm not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt ever again. Nope. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Nobody gets the benefit of the doubt. So, I don't know. I don't know if I think that she's actually super based, but she is saying a lot of stuff that's based. When she got in this argument with this Jewish guy, that was pretty wild. This rabbi. Apparently, she's in a beef with this rabbi who makes sex toys, and then his daughter sells them, and a bunch of weird stuff. She calls him the unholy rabbi, and then she debated with this other rabbi. The ADL's coming after her, so it's kind of interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where she goes from here, what she does. Is she going to become the next canceled figure? I think people get themselves canceled on purpose because it boosts up their clout. It makes them more popular once they get canceled. So they try to get canceled. But let's just skim through a couple of these articles. I really just wanted to compare and contrast the different headlines of what people are saying. Nobody seems to be coming out saying, weren't we talking about her contract ending 4 months ago? Then her contract ends, and now she's out of the Daily Wire. Why is that going viral? The more interesting stuff is what she's saying about Israel, how that's going to backlash on her. Is she going to be the next? Is she going to get Andrew Tated? Is she going to get Alex Jones? Is she going to get Fuentes treatment? What's going to happen with that? And if she does, she'll probably get more popular from it. She'll probably end up doing a big I'm leaving YouTube thing and we're going over to Rumble. Come over there on Rumble and watch us there. We'll probably see something like that. But I'm going to read a couple of these articles, see what they're saying, and then we will go into my crazy theory about who is going to be Candace's replacement. And I'm going to give you evidence, supporting and backing evidence to show this. I know it's not the most interesting topic, guys, but it's what's in the news this week. This is like the big news. This is the big news. Right now, we're in war with Ukraine and Israel, or the Middle East, all of the Middle East. Ukraine, gonna be at war with China soon. We got elections coming up. We got Biden doing a huge $1.2 trillion spending bill yet again. But the hot story right now is Candace Owens and the Jews. Candace Owens and Daily Wire. Like the feminist Jewish network. That's what Daily Wire is. Ah. What's up, bro? What's up, Dean? What's up, producer? I'm tired. I'm tired today. Sex toys, yeah. Butt plugs. They sell them. Okay. Let's read Forbes. Controversial public figure Candace Owens has said she is finally free. Finally free. Praise Lord. After the Daily Wire. Are you saying that they were enslaving you, Candace? A conservative news website for which she hosted a weekly show for years announced Friday it parted ways with her after months of tension between Owens and website co-founder Ben Shapiro. No, her contract ended. Daily Wire CEO Jeremy Boring posted to X on Friday that the website and Owens have ended their relationship. A message quickly followed by Owens' post confirming the rumors are true and teasing many announcements in the weeks to come. The announcement comes after months of infighting at the Daily Wire that went public in November as Shapiro and Owens traded insults online, spurred by their differing views on the Israel-Hamas war. Shapiro, an Orthodox Jew, has been a staunch supporter of Israel amid the war, while Owens has lashed out against political Jews, accusing them of fueling anti-Semitism and supporting conspiracy theories that secret Jewish gangs are responsible for horrific acts against people in Hollywood. Owens has in past defended rapper Ye, whose career was derailed in 2022. It wasn't really derailed. He's got a #1 album right now. After he made anti-Semitic comments and defended actions of Adolf Hitler in the name of nationalism. Who did? Are they saying Candace did? Because she really didn't. If that comment that she made about Hitler, and the nationalism, imperialism, and blah, blah, blah. Bad optics, bad choice of words. But she wasn't saying she was in love with dang old Austrian painter guy. Happy Dia de los Bunnies. I don't know, Dean. I don't know. So that's what Forbes is saying. CNN says Ben Shapiro's The Daily Wire severs ties with Candace Owens after her embrace of anti-Semitic rhetoric. So see, CNN is saying that the reason that they split is because of the anti-Semitic rhetoric. I don't think that's true. Yeah. Don't you think that if that was the case, at some point the Daily Wire would have been like, she's an anti-Semite. That's why we're firing her. They would openly say it, I think. But her contract was over. She was gonna be leaving anyway. She wants to do her own thing. She's gonna be independent. Independent. Do you know what that means? Faux sophistication. That was the comment Ben made. Okay, enough about this. Candace parts ways with Ben Shapiro's conservative news outlet, The Daily Wire. far-right commentator Candace Owens and conservative news outlet The Daily Wire have parted ways. So Candace is far-right. The Daily Wire is conservative. That's funny. I'd say Candace is a conservative if a woman can be a conservative. I think it's obvious that's not true. But Candace would be a conservative. Daily Wire would be like centrist liberal media, like liberal centrist feminist media. That's what it is. That's what it is. Jewish, feminist, centrist. That's Daily Wire. That's Daily Wire. You want soft conservative opinions? Watch the Daily Wire. Soft fake conservative opinions, really just outrage over over gender binaries. Go watch the Daily Wire. If you want to see people just repeating talking points and reading scripts about gender ideology, go to the Daily Wire. That's what you'll get. That's what you'll get a lot of there. Candace is going to become Muslim. She might. Maybe. That's like the cop-out. That's how you can get away with saying stuff about the Jews. You just convert to Muslim. She might. She's a Andrew Tate fan. All right. Now, the question is, who replaces Candace Owens at the Daily Wire? Do I have deep, dark music to play while I explain this? Hold on. Who will be replacing Candace Owens at the Daily Wire? Will it be Benny Johnson? Will it be Dave Rubin changing from the Blaze? Or can I get a drum roll? Do I have a drum roll sound? Will the answer be the notorious Stephen Bonnell? There's your next Daily Wire show host right there. Oh, the audio's coming through the TV. Hold on. I messed up. There's your next Daily Wire host right there.
Watch.
Somebody said, I just see in chat, somebody said over 100 million to the first civil suit that got settled in less than 24 hours. Is that true?
What's that? Over 100 million to
the first civil suit that got settled in less than 24 hours.
Did that happen with this?
I have no idea. I just
You might be talking about Cassie.
There's your next Daily Wire host right there, ladies and gentlemen. Destiny. Stephen Bonnell. Why do I say this? Well, because for the past 6 months, Little Destiny here has been making his rounds on all of the Daily Wire shows, or with all of the hosts. It started.
Something has to happen with Iran. There has to be some diplomatic bilateral communication there.
No, what has to happen is the containment of Iran.
History moves in one direction, right?
Why?
Because of time.
Communism, Nazism, all of that was a regression from what was happening at, for example, the beginning of the 19th century and the 20th century.
In what way?
Do you think that today Donald Trump knows that he lost the election?
Absolutely.
So I don't.
This is one of the areas where we get into this. I don't understand if there's brain breaking happening.
There it is. He debated Ben. He talked about the debate with Ben Shapiro for about 6 months. He built up to it. He led up to it. He was doing lots of research, and now he has been very openly pro-Israel and anti-Hamas, debating with large names, debating with historians and stuff like this constantly. For the past 4 months, he's been doing nothing but live research of the Israel and Hamas thing, and he's been strongly defending Israel. He's also been defending the Daily Wire in his chat. He's been reviewing Daily Wire content for 6 months now, frequently. All Ben Shapiro's movies, he does react videos, he does reactions to them, he talks about them, he shows them on the stream, and his whole chat saying, we hate Ben Shapiro, we hate Ben Shapiro, why are you playing Daily Wire, why are you playing Daily Wire? And he's been defending the Daily Wire against, to his socialist, commie, liberal, weird audience. And like I said, Daily Wire is not the conservative news network you think it is. Most people don't even really know what a conservative is. They don't even know the difference between the left and the right. They just say, we don't like the left or we don't like the right. Whatever side they're on, they like that side and they don't like the other side, and they have no idea what either side represents. They just call themselves that because their mom was that and their friend was that. I'm a Democrat because my friend was a Democrat. My mom was a Democrat. My teacher was a Democrat. My professor was a Democrat. My pastor was a Democrat. So I'm a Democrat, and I hate the Republicans, and they don't know what either of those words mean. They don't know that a Republican is still on the left. That's part of the left. So basically, where was I going at? Oh, so they think Daily Wire is some far right news network. It's not. Destiny's been defending the Daily Wire and telling his audience they are not a far right news network. They're a center right news network. And what does a center right news network need? They need their token liberal. They need their opposition. They hire the opposition. They'll hire a token black guy. They'll hire a token gay guy. They'll hire a gay liberal like Dave Rubin. So it's not that crazy to think that Daily Wire would hire Destiny to replace Candace. Here's him.
They're Zionists.
Here's him debating Israel with some historians.
Now, I personally have shied away from using the word Zionism ever since I finished my doctoral dissertation, because
painful.
Because as I said, I don't believe it's the operative ideology today. It's like talking about Bolshevism and referring to Khrushchev. I doubt Khrushchev could have spelled Bolshevik. But for the period where...
This guy's a snob.
You know,
this is a long, boring debate, so I'm not going to show most of it. But it's Destiny debating Israel with some guys. Hold on. It's on Lex Friedman. It's like a 4-hour debate.
died in the
Yes.
October 7th
Yes,
assault.
but that's not.
You know that there are lots of allegations of rape. I don't know how persuaded you are of those.
It seems like Destiny's out of his league in this debate because there was a bunch of like old historians who have written many books and stuff, and they were kind of just blowing Destiny off. But he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff, and he kind of just sat back a lot in this one. There are some heated exchanges at some points.
You're implying that a
But it's a 5-hour debate, just so you know.
strike was okayed on the Israeli
okay.
side, where they said, we're just going to kill 4 Palestinian children today for no reason.
Do you believe that?
Do you believe that? Do you believe that?
let's-
Right, right.
okay,
You said
do
right.
you
There was
believe-
a hotel of
okay,
journalists. Do you
here-
think that they
here we
actually
go.
out to
killed
kill
Here we
more
go.
children?
They won't answer the
Here we
question.
go.
They will never answer that
I
question.
will answer the question.
Pilots were out to
I will
kill
even
4
answer
children.
And it was approved
morons.
because
But I don't think I can play a lot of Lex. I don't know if he'll hit me, if Lex will hit me with the copyright, you know? So, and if you think that maybe Josh is crazy, why would Daily Wire ever hire Destiny? What's he talking about? Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a prophet. I can't see the future. But just watch. Just watch. And if Destiny does get signed to Daily Wire and Candace Owens becomes canceled for anti-Semitism, goes to another platform, starts her own show at a new platform like Kick or Rumble or something like that, and starts kind of broadcasting herself as the new canceled lady, the most canceled woman in TV. Watch. Just watch. I might be way off on the Destiny thing. This is kind of just a crazy theory that I have. And I think it would be interesting to see. But the Candace thing, I think that's a little more obvious that that's going to happen. But let me show you that people are talking about this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that page, but on Reddit, they were talking about it. Thoughts on Destiny versus Ben Shapiro? Blah, blah, blah. There was a Reddit thread about it where it basically said it seems very likely that Destiny might be going to Daily Wire. And this was one of his audience had posted this. And people are commenting on it, and they're all like, yeah, it does seem like that. But how is he going to fit in on the Daily Wire's lineup? He won't fit in. Like, he doesn't do what they do. They do weekly shows, or they do daily small shows, high production level, scripted, short videos, shows, weekly shows. Whereas Steven just streams, Destiny just streams for 10 hours a day. You know? So how would that fit in on the Daily Wire's regimen? I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see. And they were talking about it on Reddit. You know, Reddit's a cesspool, but I just Googled and did a search, and I saw that people were talking about it on Reddit, so I thought that was interesting. But that's enough of that. Enough of that. Enough talk about. That's Women's History Month. Shout out Candace Owens.
Had a son basically around the first.
We'll dedicate this Women's History Month to Candace Owens and wish her well in her new journey. Is she becoming super based? Who knows? Or is she just following the script? Now that it's popular to talk about these things because of the war, she comes out and says it. I find that kind of interesting. It's interesting. You know, if Fuentes and Ye and anybody else who got canceled for anti-Semitism would have just waited till now, they wouldn't have been in any trouble. They would have been fine. They would have got away with it, I guess. Because now you're allowed to support terrorists. Candicelled. She got Candicelled. All right. So enough of that. Let's move on. Ain't that right? My money right. Money. Speaking of wait till I get my money right. Can we get a hand for Joe Biden? He signed a bill. He signed a spending bill. Could you have possibly imagined that Joe Biden signed a spending bill? I don't know a whole lot about deficits and debt and stuff like that. National debts. But I did hear the other day that there's a difference between debt, the national debt, which is $32 trillion, and the national deficit, the spending deficit. Apparently, Trump improved the deficit. He hurt the debt, but he was improving the deficit. And now, because of Joe Biden, our deficit is much worse. So, that's interesting. Maybe we'll do a deep dive, and I'll have to find the video that I was listening to and play it on the stream one day. But anyway, Biden decided to sign another bill. He signed a $1.2 trillion funding package averting government shutdown. So the government shutdown thing is still going on. They're still threatening to shut down the government. Every time they threaten to shut down the government and the government stays open, that means somebody turned up the speed on the money printer. That's what happened there. Where's this 1.2 trillion coming from? It's coming from the money printer. We just turned up the speed on the money printer. That's what averting a government shutdown means. That means more inflation. That means more problems for America, basically. Basically is what happened. Always just in time to avert a shutdown. It's amazing. Yeah. The government's going to shut down. They're threatening to shut the government down. Guess we need to print some more money. Let's print another $1.2 trillion. Yeah, Deem, that's not even a real number. That's like that's a funny money number. I say we take that debt from China and we never pay it back again because they owe us. What are they talking about? We have a debt to China. We don't have a debt to China. If China lent us something, keep that and don't ever pay them back. F China. China's asshole. You know? Ain't worried about no debt to China. So, and that's a good example to live by. You know? I like that. I like that role model. You borrow money from a shithole country, never pay it back. Because China doesn't deserve money. China is a shithole country. They don't deserve the money. Anyway, Chinese people probably selling meth to people. Like, that's how's China getting rich? Probably killing people. That's how China gets rich. Don't pay the debt back to China. Chinese can't even pronounce trillion. Yeah. Anyway, from Washington, from U.S. News, from Washington, President Joe Biden on Saturday signed into law a $1.2 trillion budget bill to keep the U.S. government funded through a fiscal year that began 6 months ago and to avert a partial shutdown, according to a statement released by the White House. The bipartisan funding bill. Oh, you know that both parties are going to agree to a little bit of funding. The bipartisan funding bill I just signed keeps the government open, invests in the American people, and strengthens our economy and national security. Biden said in the statement. All right, $1.2 trillion. Hold on. I thought I had more articles on this. I thought I had more articles on the spending bill. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah. So this is kind of all just a hodgepodge of government stuff. So we'll do this one first. I kind of divided them up because it was something from the same source. The U.S. Senate was preparing to vote. See, same source, U.S. News. Preparing to vote early on Saturday on final passage of a bill providing $1.2 trillion to avoid a partial government shutdown. After Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced a deal just before midnight deadline, just in time. The Senate was quickly working its way through a series of proposed amendments, all of which were expected to fail before casting votes on passing the bill, which was approved on Friday in the House of Representatives. If successful, as expected, the Senate would dispatch the 1,012-page bill that includes funding for the defense, Homeland Security, and other federal agents to President Joe Biden for signing into law. After a long day of negotiations between Senate Democrats and Republicans over amendments that could be offered, the Senate failed to meet the Friday midnight deadline for approving the massive bill. Temporary funding was expired at that deadline, but the White House Office of Management and Budget promptly announced that it would cease plans for shutting federal agencies, giving its confidence in the Senate's ability to approve the full funding for about 2/3 of the government program for the rest of the fiscal year, ending in September 30th. Earlier this month, Congress approved funding for the other 1/3 of discretionary programs. So just spending money, keep the government open, keep the government open. We have some other politics spending type news before we get to this Alaskan Airlines story. What's going on in Florida? From NPR, a push is underway for voters to make Florida the next state to expand Medicaid. Sounds great. Sounds great. Some free medical. 1 billion is just absurd. Trillions, I can't even imagine that. Yeah. Oh no. Let's see what Florida's doing. Can we just listen to it?
Support for NPR and the following message come from SAP Concur. As the CFO for Brother UK, Stuart McLean wanted to help their employees spend less time on manual expense tasks with more time for growth.
I don't know what that is. I'm just going to read the article. From Tallahassee, from NPR, last month, J.J. Holmes celebrated his 20th birthday and says the best gift he could get is for Florida to expand Medicaid. Holmes has cerebral palsy. He speaks through an iPad, typing out messages with his nose. His mom, Allison Holmes, is his full-time caregiver. Oh, pulling the heartstrings. She assists him with everything from eating and drinking to pulling the covers up at night when he gets cold. JJ worries about her. She's almost 60 and she's getting aches and pains. I'd be more worried about you, bro. You operate your computer with your nose, my boy. Every day I try as hard as I can to make it easier when she lifts me. But I know I am hurting her and I don't know what to do. Okay. Okay, that's sad. That's a sad story. It's a sad story. That'll pull on them heartstrings. Gotta pull on them heartstrings. I wish people could see how hard her life is and how much pain she's in. If they did, they'd understand how important this is. Allison has too much income to qualify for Medicaid in Florida, but too little to get subsidies from the health insurance marketplace. Now, advocates are pushing a proposed state constitution amendment that would expand Medicaid eligibility and give people like Allison coverage. The road is long for organizers in Florida, but in every state where Medicaid expansion has gotten on the ballot, it's passed. Nearly 1 million petition signatures are needed to get it on the ballot in 2026, and then 60% of voters would need to approve it. This is what happens is that people vote, women form consensus, women vote emotionally, and they vote on things like this because it sounds so good to give. It sounds so good to give the kids the free lunch. It sounds so good to help people by giving them free Medicaid, giving them Medicare, giving them access, more access to the doctors in the hospitals, more access to cheap education. And since the women form the consensus, the women are in their husband's ears. Honey, we need to do this. And the husband says, it sounds like a bad idea, honey. We can't keep spending money as a country. We can't keep spending money on these things. As a state, as a local government, we can't keep spending money on all these programs. We can't even afford to take care of ourselves right now. The country's in debt. Everything's turning into a shithole, honey. But honey says, please, 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 honey, please, please, please vote for this. And finally, the husband just rolls his eyes and he says, okay. And he just does it. And he votes for the Medicaid. And it passes. And we give the women the vote. And we give, free college and all this stuff. All that consensus is formed by women. And, yeah, they vote emotionally. Yep. Emotionally. Anyway, why can't they just delete the debt? I don't know, Dean. I mean, I think they're gonna. We talked about that a long time ago when we were talking about BRICS. That guy I was watching, something economist. I can't remember his name, but we were watching a video about how he said he thinks the debt is just going to get deleted when they switch over to BRICS. Basically, the whole world is just going to stop using the dollar as the international form of trade. Before they do that, they're going to have to cripple the dollar. They're going to have to bolster other economies' currencies. So you'll start seeing countries with lower valued currencies get backed by BRICS and the value of their currency start to go up before they convert to BRICS or a digital dollar or whatever they do. But basically they'll crush the US dollar, they'll bolster the other dollars. Once everything is at about even, BRICS comes in, says we have a new digital currency. Forget the dollar, it's garbage, nobody uses it anymore. We're switching to this, and then the debt's gone. And now we're forever in debt to our new owners, which will be Brazil, Russia, India, China, Venezuela once they get into it. All the countries that get involved in BRICS, they'll be the new world power. And they claim that it's not about having a world force, but it is. Like another country buys another country's debt to make their own currency rise and fall. Right. Yeah, we talked about that a while ago. That China's just going to come in and cancel our debt as long as we start using BRICS currency. We join BRICS, and now we're under their umbrella and we're in their control. I think that's what's happening. Florida's trying to expand Medicaid, spending more money, giving people, turning commodities into necessities, discouraging people from going into those fields and becoming doctors, becoming the best doctors they could be, going to college for 10 years, getting into debt so that they can get a high-paying job, a very skill-intensive, high-paying job. Instead of working really hard and spending a lot of money to get to that position, we're going to have dumbasses going to free college, doing free surgeries on people who are on Medicaid or whatever government system they're on, whatever free program that they're on, free welfare state, whatever free money handout program that they're on. We're going to have those dumbasses getting surgeries from other dumbasses who went to college where they were taught by other dumbasses how to turn everybody into dumbasses. That's what's going to happen. It is happening. It's already happening. If you don't see it, you probably aren't looking. I can see how that'll start war. Some countries aren't going to go along with that. I don't know, man. I don't think I've said many times before that we're never going to see a war. We're never going to see a war like we're used to. We're never going to see no nuclear winter. Nobody's shooting nukes at each other. The mutually assured destruction thing, I don't even know if nukes are real like that. Like, yeah, they can make a big explosion, but it's not like they're going to wipe out the face of the earth. There's no Russian Poseidon nuke that's going to make a tidal wave that engulfs the entire planet in water. I think it's more likely they just shut down communication and people go crazy and kill each other. But it's not going to be a war like a traditional war. Boots on the ground. The wars are fought with drones now. The wars are fought with information, communication, tech, drones. Some fat lesbian sitting at a control board flying a drone and dropping bombs on little Arabs and stuff like that. That's how the wars are fought now. You know, some nerd in America, you know, who's questioning his gender identity, who just joined the military so he could get a paycheck for the rest of his life, is flying a drone to drop bombs on Russians, on Orthodox Christians in Russia, who are getting killed by other Orthodox Christians in Russia who have a Jewish actor as their leader in the Ukraine. That's what's happening. Mental wars, yes, Dean. Yes. Mental wars. You control the communications, you control the tech. And I just learned the other day a technocracy is not when the technology controls the government, which is what I always thought it was. Apparently, technocracy means technique. When specific techniques control the government, it's techniques, how to manipulate people, how to control people. So a technocracy could often be whoever has the most tech, because they're going to figure out different techniques where they're not really using politics or societal things to manage people and organize groups and money, where they're using techniques and skills to manipulate people. And they will often use technology to do that. I think that's where the confusion comes in, and that's why plus it just sounds like technology, technocracy, technology. But I heard the other day that that's not what a technocracy is. I haven't looked into it deeply yet, so maybe TikTok is the enemy. I think TikTok is a tool of the enemy. China's the enemy. China's the enemy. Satan's the enemy. China's not even the enemy. Satan's the enemy. Satan's the enemy. And he's everywhere. And he's always going to be everywhere. You can't change the world. Don't try. All right. Oh, we got one more. Google, Apple breakups. What? Google, Apple breakups on the agenda as global regulators target tech. So, by Fu Yanqi. Fu Yanqi wrote this article. Speaking of China and technocracies, I got a story here. I haven't read this yet, or I did read it last night, but I can't remember what all it's about. I think this has to do with the TikTok stuff. From Reuters, big tech is facing its biggest challenge in decades as antitrust regulators on both sides of the Atlantic crack down on alleged anti-competitive practices that could result in breakup orders to Apple and Alphabet's Google, a first for the industry. So they're trying to break up the monopoly that Google and Apple have on the internet and technology. That's kind of cool. I don't think it's going to work. I think Google has way more power than they even comprehend. I think Google helped fund Sharp Eyes in China. Google helped fund Operation Dragonfly in China. So the CIA was helping work on that stuff. So I don't think there's any stopping Google. The government's definitely not going to do it. That in turn could inspire watchdogs around the world to pile on, as evidence in the growing number of antitrust probes in various countries following the opening of the EU and the US cases. Since AT&T was broken up exactly 40 years ago, AT&T was broken up 40 years ago. No company has faced the possibility of a regulator-led breakup in the United States until now. Google has said it disagrees with the EU's accusations, while Apple said the US lawsuit is wrong in the facts and the law. And you know what? I call BS on this. The EU loves Google. The EU is not going to try to break up Google. The EU loves Google. Unless Google is stepping on their toes and not making some plays that they want them to make, but I think Google wins this battle. In 1984, AT&T, also known as Ma Bell, was broken up into several independent companies called Baby Bells to open up one of the most powerful monopolies of the 20th century. AT&T, Verizon, and Lumen are currently the only surviving entities. Regulators now allege companies such as Apple and Google have built impenetrable ecosystems around their products, making it difficult for customers to switch to rival services, which led to the coining of the term walled gardens. So they're making walled gardens. See, I thought that's what a technocracy was, but I guess not. The U.S. Department of Justice on Wednesday warned Apple, a $2.7 trillion company, that a breakup order is not excluded as a remedy to restore competition after it teamed up with 15 states to sue the iPhone maker for monopolizing the smartphone market, thwarting rivals, and inflating prices. Even so, it will likely take years to decide the case, which Apple has vowed to fight. The U.S. actions come on the heels of other mounting threats across Europe this week. We're not going to read all this, but we're almost through with it. We might as well keep going. Margaret Vestager helped pave the way for drastic measures last year, when she accused Google of anti-competitive practices in its money-spinning ad tech business, that it may have to divest its sell-side tools. Google does have a monopoly on the dang internet. That's true. Kevin O'Leary, Mark Cuban, or Kevin O'Leary? Sounds like a more sophisticated form of algorithms. Shark Tank dude is trying to buy TikTok. Yeah, that's what they need, is some Shark Tank dude. Mark Cuban or Kevin O'Leary? Kevin O'Leary. Huh. If the internet ever failed, somehow Google would be able to survive without it. They're in everything. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Dean. I think you're right about that. So that's interesting. They're trying to break up the monopoly that Google and Apple have. That's interesting. We'll have to keep our eye on that. And then we got this Alaska airline updates. Remember the door that flew off the Alaskan airline plane? Well, FBI says from USA Today, FBI says Alaska Airlines passengers on flight that lost door may be victims of a crime. Wow. And remember we talked about last week the Boeing guy, the Boeing whistleblower that ended up suicided after he said, "I'm not going to kill myself," to people all over the internet. That guy. Well, we got more Boeing news. There was a door that flew off the plane. We've been hearing of planes just dropping randomly out of the sky. 50 people were injured recently in a plane that just dropped in the sky. All the computers and stuff shut down. We talked about the video of the guy that was going through the Boeing facility asking people if they would get on the plane. People who work on the Boeings. A very affirmative action, very racially diverse warehouse where they're building the Boeings. Actually, it wasn't racially diverse. They were all black. Everyone. And somebody was going through there with a camera asking them, and they were saying, "I wouldn't fly on this plane because we don't know what the hell we're doing. None of us know what we're doing. None of us know what we're doing. All of our IQs are below 70. None of us have a clue what we're doing on these things. We could talk like we know what we're talking about, but we really have no idea what we're talking about." That's who's building your planes. And yeah. So Boeing's been under fire. Now the Alaska thing's coming out. FBI's getting involved. FBI's crooked. FBI's probably tied in with Boeing. So what the fuck? Yeah. You got Lizzo building your airplanes, just so you know, Dean.
That Alaska Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9 that experienced the mid-air door blowout in January were sent a letter from the FBI informing them that they may be victims of a crime. The letter says that the FBI is currently investigating the case.
Look at that. Could you imagine flying on a plane and the door's missing? It's just. Imagine if one of these exit row people didn't have a seatbelt on. Bro. It looks like they must be coming in for a landing, but they're like pretty. I wonder what altitude they were at when it happened. Because that would determine the sucking effect, right? Pause on the sucking effect. But wouldn't the altitude determine the sucking effect that you get when the door flies off? This is seriously foobar. Yeah.
Accountability. We want answers. We
Hold
want
on.
safer Boeing
I'm gonna
planes.
skip this back and go
And
get
a
a cup of
DOJ
coffee real
investigation
fast.
helps advance our goal.
Just like 20 seconds.
And passengers on board that Alaska Airlines Boeing 737 MAX chart. If we have it here, this would kind of a year-to-date chart would give us a glimpse of Boeing stock since the start of the year. It was I think it was January 6th that this incident happened. So there's a year-to-date chart, and you see, even as the stock market has basically gone straight up, Boeing has basically gone straight down.
Wow. Buy Boeing right now. They'll make a comeback. Meet the 2024 Woman of the Year. Is it Candace? Is it a dude? It's probably somebody with a penis. I would bet that the 2024 Person of the Year has a penis. That would be my guess. Happy Women's History Month. Happy Women's History Month to all the ladies with penises out there. If I go in another live stream, it's not clipped like yours. It's not clipping like yours, JS. Maybe ScrewTube is messing with you. Is it buffering? It's like buffering? That's weird. I don't know. Could it be because I was talking about Boeing? Are they gonna suicide me? Guys, I'm not gonna commit suicide. Or could it be, is there a black line at the bottom of the screen? No. Okay, cool. Maybe it could be because I was talking about the little hat people. I don't know. Maybe it was because I was talking about Women of the Year. The Woman of the Year probably has a penis. Maybe that's what hit me. The video is fluid. The video is fluid streaming, unlike your mic. Then it's probably just that my mic sucks. Check. It's probably just the mic. Hold on. I can turn up the volume a little bit on it. Yeah, I got to get a new mic eventually. I want to get a good one. But it's just not in the cards right now. All right. Man, I keep almost. Ooh. What's up, Lord Spike? All right. Not buffering. It clips in and out. I think that's the microphone. So I just got to try to talk really clearly into the microphone. Okay, so the FBI contacted these people who are on this plane, and it tells the airline's passengers they are possibly a victim of a crime. MAX 9 jet, whose door plug was explosively expelled after departing an airport in Portland. Here's some. So, yeah, I think they were probably involved in a crime. They're probably also not directly, but they were involved in a murder because Boeing murdered a guy. They murdered a guy. So that happened. Aircraft. Latest in breaking news. Don't go to this. Don't go to this and then get on a plane. If you're going to get on a plane for any reason, do not go to the Independence aircraft stories section. Because Russia is jamming signals on planes with celebrities on board. Planes with celebrities on board. Russia is jamming the signals. California family survived plane crash after deploying parachute. Passengers thrown from seats hit roof in a Boeing mid-air horror. 5 people killed as plane crashes into a forest in Virginia. But they say it's more dangerous to ride on a train than it is to fly on a plane. I don't want to be, if Pete Buttigieg is the transportation security guy, I don't want to be on a train or a bus or a car or a boat or a freaking trolley. I don't want to ride in a bumper car when Pete Buttigieg is in charge of transportation. What's up, Starborn? I heard a YouTuber saying DEI means didn't earn it. I call it DIE, die. Diversity, inclusion, and equity is die, DIE. Mother left traumatized. Flying ambulance lands on resort. Anyway, lots of crazy plane stuff going on. Lots of crazy plane stuff. That's it for that. And I think that's it for all of the news. All right. I didn't collect the memes, but Stubborn One did send me some memes. Let me see what we got. Let's see if I can open these. Let's see. Okay, I did find the memes. I just need to make sure. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find if I have some memes. My face when I see the titties. What the? Hold on 1 second, because I need to make sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got some. We'll just do a couple. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm working on this. What y'all talking about? They say skydiving is safer than driving only because there's not millions of people skydiving to work. That's so true, dude. That is a fact. That is a fact. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I didn't know you guys were looking at my screen the whole time there. It's all right. We didn't show nothing crazy. Trying to make sure everything fits in here properly. There we go. Just some memes. Oops. All right. Anyway, memes. Where'd my soundboard go? Memes. All right. First meme says, my face when I see them titties. What the? Okay. Next. Sunbathing for just 1 day increases your risk of heart disease and stop the body fighting infections, study finds. And stop the body infections. Sunbathing for just 1 day increases your risk of heart disease and stop the body fighting infections, study finds. Oh, is it the sun? Is it the sun that's causing the heart disease? Is it climate change that's causing the heart attacks to increase? Maybe it's all the Vaseline. Maybe it's all the Vaseline people had. Maybe that's what did it. You may think that you're woke, but compared to Google, you're only diet woke.
Beta!
Yep. Next. Daughter. Can I keep the nightlight on? Me. And provide the monsters with a beacon to your location? Use your head, sweetie. Next. Breaking, FDA loses its war on ivermectin and agrees to remove all social media posts and consumer directives regarding ivermectin and COVID, including its most popular tweet in FDA history. This landmark case sets an important precedent in limiting FDA overreach into the blah blah. You are not a horse. You're not a cow. Seriously, y'all, stop it. Right. You're not a horse. You're not a cow. So don't take ivermectin to fight the disease, even though it works for a lot of people. But you can take cat tranquilizer for your depression. You can go get a doctor to inject you with some ketamine for your depression, for your big sad. You got the big sad? Shoot yourself up with some cat tranquilizer. Don't act like a horse and take ivermectin, right? That makes sense. That makes sense. Thanks, China. Thanks, China. Okay. Diet. Survey says climate change. Put this out. Put this thing out. Put this thing out. Okay. Safety is more important than freedom. Then try prison. Yep, sounds about right.
It's a man, baby.
Try prison. Next. Planet Fitness be like, oh my God, this is so true. This is so true. When I go to Planet Fitness, there's this one homeless transgender individual that is like 7 foot tall, muscular, benches like 300, pectoral muscles, abs, but that this person wears like tube tops and spandex, and you can see the whole dang bulge in the spandex. Pink spandex and tube tops. And this thing goes into the women's locker room. So none of the women, and there's a lot of attractive women, a lot of small, petite, attractive young ladies who go to this gym. None of them use the bathroom in the downtown Planet Fitness. Why? Because there's homeless transgenders that hang out in the women's locker room all day long and charge their phones. Yeah, it happens. So the women don't go in the locker room at Planet Fitness because everyone in the locker room at Planet Fitness has a penis. That's why. Next. No thanks, China. In this house, we only use American tech spyware. Right. We're worried about the data. Bro, everybody has your data. Everybody has your data. The whole world has your data, bro. Yeah, Facebook and Google, right? But I do kind of agree. If I'm gonna get fleeced, if I'm gonna get spied on, at least have it be an American spy company, I guess. Right? Next. I'm sure he broke up with me because I'm ugly. No, don't say that. You're beautiful. He broke up with you because you support gun control. Yeah. That was a good one. I thought maybe that guy was trying to hook up with them. Never mind. This reminds me of the horse lady from the Whatever podcast. The horse lady? What's a horse lady? I don't know what that means. Next. Be the reason someone stops believing in the Federal Reserve. Next. George Carlin. He was a liberal, by the way. He's not as base as people think he was. Back then, what he was saying was edgy. Oh, edgy. God's not real. God's not real. I'm edgy. He was never saying anything edgy. Just saying. The real reason we can't have the 10 Commandments in courthouse, you cannot post, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery, and thou shalt not lie in a building full of lawyers, judges, and politicians. It creates a hostile work environment. Yeah, I think he was overrated. Next. This is what it would look like if your government was actually transparent. Goldman Sachs, Blue Cross, Bank of America, yeah, they'd have their sponsorships, Koch brothers. They'd have their sponsorships all over the that's so true. That is what it would look like. Next. Liberals, if we could just jail Trump, get rid of MAGA, end the Electoral College, stack the Supreme Court, ban voter ID, and censor free speech, we could save democracy. Nope. Hold on. I need to make sure. What the heck is this? I need to make sure there's nothing. The problem of solving a problem is not a problem. But when a problem solves a problem without any problems, then the problem is not a problem at all. That's Cop Mala. That's Cop Mala Harris. Next. It's the Ghostbusters. What's the song? Oh, what's the song here? It's it has a weird name. It has a weird name that doesn't go with it. It's like, oh man. This is Ghost. Patrick Swayze and Ghost. Unchained Melody? Is it called Unchained Melody? The name of the song is not like, doesn't seem like it goes with the song. I think it's called like Unchained Melody or something. Next. I could hear her witch cackle. Unchained Melody. Yeah, Rome got it. I think I got it before Rome. I got it before I saw Rome say it. Next. So, you're okay with thousands of government employees losing their job? Hello, yeah? Duh. What is this next one? DEI didn't earn it. Hey, that's what that's what somebody said earlier in the chat. We have it in a meme form. I still like die better. I still like die. D-I-E. Die. We got it in meme form. That's pretty cool. Somebody said that earlier. Now, why are there no women accusing Barack Obama of sexual assault? Because he only sleeps with men.
Beta!
That's why. Next. If your dad had hair like this, you've got siblings you've never met. Yeah, that's probably true.
It's a man, baby!
The Matrix described 1999 as the peak of human civilization, and I laughed. But then the next 24 years happened, and now I'm like, yeah, maybe the machines had a point. Yep. Maybe the machines had a point. The black version, Django Unchained Melody. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Remember, Mother's Day is for moms, not men in dresses. Your day is April 1st. April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day. Yacht. Next. Statism is the belief that a group of people who can't fix potholes can fix an entire planet. Sounds about right. All right, one more. Air Blood. It's Air Blood. Air Blood. Get it? This is Mr. Mad doing his blood symbol. Air Blood. Okay. And that's it for the memes. Poor P. Diddy. He going down. Yeah. He is going down. I don't want to jump on the Me Too bandwagon. Is it Me Too if it's a gay sex ring? I don't think that counts as Me Too. You know? But yeah, Diddy's going down. All right. What else we got? Your time is up, Puffy. Puff Daddy, Papa Diddy Pop, Puff Diddy Diddy Puffy, Puffy Papa Diddy Pop, Mr. Pop, Mr. Papa Diddy Pop, Air Blood. That was funny. Yeah, I didn't need an expose to tell me that P. Diddy was running a gay sex ring in hip hop. I've known that forever. All right. Let's see. We don't have a whole lot of rapid fire. We don't have a whole lot of don't have a whole lot of much here. Let's see what we got.
All right, now, you want to be really careful.
Let's do that again.
He's fine.
Fireworks are dangerous. Be careful
All
with
right,
your
now,
fireworks.
you want to be really careful.
People getting hurt is funny. People getting hurt is funny.
Don't worry. Ready? Don't throw it at no. 3, 2, 1. Ready? No, Joe. I'm not doing that. You're gonna kill me. Don't worry. Ready? Don't throw it at no. 3, 2, 1.
We on Bamboo. Okay. I think that's the only funny reels I have. Let's get into the big story in rapid fire. Let's get into Ye, the Vultures album. I listened to the Vultures album. It's a pretty good album. It's a short album. Good album. The opening track is fire. Every beat is fire. Ye is not the greatest lyricist or the greatest rapper, but he does make some hit songs. But they talk about a lot of gross content. It's not a Christian album. I'm kind of disappointed in Ye because I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and he proved me right. Because I shouldn't have given the benefit of the doubt. Blah 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 blah. I should not have given him the benefit of the doubt because I knew that within 2 albums, I thought it would be the next album after Jesus is King. I thought the next album would be a secular album. It took a couple albums, but now he's back to the secular stuff. And the album is pretty degenerate. A lot of stuff that encourages young ladies to get butt lifts and nip tucks and surgeries. And they talk a lot in the album about, ooh, you got a new butt. Ooh, you got a new surgery. It's kind of gross. But this Big Boy interview they did for the Vultures 2 release, which is the name of the album, Ty Dolla $ign and Ye. Ye's back on the scene. He did this Big Boy interview. He had a lot of interesting stuff to say, talking about how basically the Christians never really had his back. Most replayed. Let's just jump to the most replayed section of the video.
I know I'm not going to third rail y'all interview, but look at the power of what happened when me and Kyrie was on the same page. See, that's what's scary. But what they do is they put us each in a silo and say your grandmother gonna lose her crib and this gonna, you know how many threats we've been dealt with? And I didn't pray my way through them threats either. I had to get up and do.
He's talking about when somebody says, I'll pray for you. When the Christians say, I'll pray for you, and he says, you know, you could be doing something instead of praying for me. Not for me. You don't have to do anything for me, but you could be doing things to make a change instead of praying for me. I don't need you to pray for me. I don't need any fake Christians to pray for me. I don't need any. Yeah, stop wasting your time. Do something for yourself. Work on yourself. Stop worrying about me and praying for me.
Do it myself. I had so much to do, I ain't had time to pray.
Not only are we talking about music, but we're 3 men here with families. We're 3 men here with obligations, responsibilities, and that is some of the stuff that we do supersedes our entertainment.
Yeah, like I had a responsibility to all the people that were stealing from me.
Mm-hmm. Speak on it.
Like, I'm responsible.
The Vultures.
Remember?
Yeah.
All that. Gotta learn to deal with the pain and keep going.
Is music where you?
I can understand why Ye's got some issues. I can understand it. This is whacked. It is whacked. That looks fake. You mean the one where the girl went launching on the seesaw? I'm pretty sure it was fake. Yeah, it definitely looked fake, but it was funny. So I don't have much to say about that. just my thoughts on the album. A lot of sexual stuff. I don't like all the encouraging plastic surgery and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of plastic surgery. I think somebody asked me in a stream one time what I thought about plastic surgery, and I said, if a girl gets a little bit of work done, it's okay. Yeah, I would not recommend any woman do it at all. But if she does a little bit of something here or there, maybe she's got back problems, so she gets a little bit of a reduction. There's a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where this girl is a dancer and she has very large breasts, and Larry makes a comment to her, and she ends up deciding to get a breast reduction after the comment he makes. And Richard is with her, Richard Lewis, and he's so pissed. He's like, Larry, because of you, she's getting a reduction. But anyway, so I get it. You know, you want to get a little lift or reduction. You know, I'd rather you not do it. But if ladies want to do it, whatever. But once they get a lot of work done and they start looking like a plastic, gross Kim Kardashian type, big, nasty, fake butt, fake boobies, everything's fake, facelifts, fake eyebrows, tattoo makeup, tattooed freckles now. They're getting freckle tattoos. Cut it out. Cut it out, ladies. It's weird. But what's up, Terry? Never seen you in the chat before. Welcome. We're talking about butt lifts and how they're gross and how the Vultures album encourages ladies to get plastic surgery and operations, and that's just weird. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, that's all I got to say about Ye. We were playing some songs from the albums in some of the streams, so it's a good album. It's not good album. It's a well-made, quality rap music album. If you don't like rap music, you're not gonna like it. But it is dirty. It is a dirty album. Anyway, that's all I got on that. Let's roll through some of this rapid fire news, just some headlines, just some quick headlines, stuff that looks interesting. Here's an interesting topic that I've been seeing pop up a lot. This is from Fox 13. Sleep divorce. More couples are choosing to sleep in separate bedrooms. What do you guys think about this? I've heard it's pretty common now, and I think the world is making it more common. And my instant reaction is this is trying to discourage children from being born, destroy marriage, destroy the foundations of marriage. They've already taken the religious aspect out of marriage, so now it means nothing except a tax write-off. So people just get married, civil unions to have tax write-offs and stuff. Has nothing to do with being joined under the umbrella of God anymore. People just get married, for whatever reason, but it has nothing to do with being one flesh under the umbrella of God anymore. So my knee-jerk reaction to seeing this is, oh, they're trying to destroy marriage. That's why they're trying to encourage couples to sleep in different beds. But then I think about it, and I think, you know what? I think sleeping in different bedrooms is better than getting a divorce. I think staying together for the kids and showing them that you're trying to work through it is better than just getting a divorce and trying to cut the baby in half. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about this sleeping in different bedrooms thing? Yeah, see, it was common back in the day. I think it was more for decency things. Like back in the day, they were just sex wasn't a nasty thing like it is today. It was like, we're going to get together, honey. We're going to do this missionary style. We're going to make a baby real quick. Then we're going to go sleep in separate rooms. Might be the key to a successful marriage. I don't know. Let's read a little bit about the article, but I think if you're tired of being tired, you might consider what more couples are finding themselves doing, sleeping in separate bedrooms. It's not a sign of trouble in the relationship. It's when couples willingly decide to sleep in separate beds because of their partner snoring, tossing and turning, or sheet hogging. Heck yeah. I know where they're coming from with that one. The American Academy, and also If you're waking up every morning pissed off at your partner, as Fox says, which is gross, but if you wake up and you're always pissed at your wife or your husband because they hog all the sheets or they snore too much or they kick you out of the bed in the middle of the night, it's not going to lead to a happy, productive relationship. A woman needs her mystery. I like cuddles. It's okay. We have some differing opinions here from the ladies. I Love Lucy said it all. I Love Lucy was the first show that showed a man and a woman in the bed together. A lot of people say that's when like sexual degeneracy in the media and on TV started, was with I Love Lucy, and that Lucy actually was the devil, and Ricky was being courted by the devil. You sleep alone when you're growing up, and all of a sudden you have to sleep in the same bed. Not okay. Looks like a lot of people. That's what I'm saying. When I first read this headline, I was like, oh, this is trying to destroy marriage and destroy couples and destroy family building and all that stuff. But really, when I think about it more and I see what you guys are saying, it might be a good idea. It doesn't have to be all the time, but it would be nice to have an extra bedroom, an extra man cave bedroom where you can go sleep by yourself sometimes. I think that maybe this is a good thing. Let's just get rid of the word partners. Let's get rid of the word partners. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine says millennials have the highest number of sleep divorces. They call it a sleep divorce. I don't like that. I don't like calling it a sleep divorce. Why does it have to imply that you're... I mean, is that the right word? Sleep divorce? I guess, maybe. Dr. Syed Aslam specializes in sleep medicine with Advent Health. He said it also works for couples who may not have traditional schedules like himself. When I'm on call, I get 5 calls in the night. I wake up 5 times at night. I feel not rested the next day. Same with my wife, because whenever I wake up, my phone rings, she wakes up. For us, I think that's a very good option in these days where I'm on call. But why do you have to call it a sleep divorce? It sounds negative. There's a negative connotation there. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, that was an interesting topic that I saw. My grandparents all slept together. Also, they had large families. My grandparents all slept together. Like in one bed, like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Dutch oven, or is it Dutch lovin'? I know. How you going to Dutch oven somebody if you can't sleep in the same bed? I got to be in the same bed just to hit that Dutch oven every now and then. There is nothing better than sleep all cozy with someone. There is proof that women are happier when they sleep with their man. Okay, so we have contradictory opinion. We have differing opinions here. I could see the pluses and the minuses of having an extra bed in the house, but I don't want to call it sleep divorce. I don't like that. That's negative. Okay, what else we got? This is a funny story, interesting little story. Let's see if we can just play the news clip. We're gonna get an ad real quick. With AI. We'll mute the ad, and then I'll just play this. 12-year-old served alcohol at Outback Steakhouse. If I wish I knew where this Outback Steakhouse was when I was a kid. Because I would have went there every day.
In Livonia multiple times a month. Outback Steakhouse in the Outback Steakhouse in Livonia multiple times a month. 12-year-old Mikhail always gets a virgin strawberry daiquiri, but this time it definitely was no virgin.
Yo, virgin strawberry daiquiris, I used to order those all the time, and I felt like a pimp. I used to feel like a pimp on a blimp eating steak and shrimp, sipping my virgin strawberry daiquiri, my Shirley Temple, essentially.
Didn't taste like how when I had it the other times, and it just didn't taste normal.
A taste unfamiliar to this 12-year-old. Rum, a few big gulps.
Yeah, hit the like button and get yourself a body pillow.
Then a funny feeling, he says.
My head started hurting when I was leaving, and my heart started beating.
Why would they just happen to be recording it? Unless they tasted it and figured out and then let him keep drinking it? Why would they just happen to be recording when he takes a sip of this alcoholic beverage? Unless he tasted it, realized it had alcohol in it, and then they're like, okay, take another sip while we record you.
As I was drinking it.
Were you a little bit scared?
Yeah.
Grandma,
He wasn't scared. Shut up. He be drinking Colt 45 and 2 zigzags with the boys every weekend on the stoop.
Yolanda Collins took a sip to see.
We don't drink, so we couldn't tell whether it was alcohol in there or not. But after that, he started.
I call BS on that. You just happen to break your phone out and have him take a sip on camera after you could tell that some has been sipped out of the cup already. There's liquid in the straw. It's not filled to the rim. And then he takes a sip on camera, but you didn't know that it had alcohol in it. You've never smelled alcohol before. Shut up, Keisha.
Letting us know that his heart was kind of racing.
Flagging down the server who relayed their concern to the bartender who confirmed they made a big mistake, adding alcohol to the slushy drink. And Grandma has receipts, literally.
It's supposed to be a virgin daiquiri, but it says a daiquiri.
The restaurant comped the meal.
Hey, that's an $8 daiquiri. That ain't bad.
And apologized, but the booze was hitting the 6th grader.
Look how much he drank. Come on. Look how much he drank. And they took a picture of it. Did you take the picture? You must have taken the video and the picture after you figured out there was alcohol in it, right? Before you gave it back to the server. You didn't take a sip and then call the server and say there's been a mistake made. You sat and made videos and pictures and drank the whole damn thing.
So they took him to the hospital right away.
And they took him to the hospital for one daiquiri?
The diagnosis was accidental exposure to alcohol and accidental ingestion.
There wasn't much that could be
Lawsuit, right? Oh, yeah. They're getting paid. Oh, you know they're going to get paid.
done. A Tylenol and some rest, then his first hangover the next day at 12 years old.
No, drinks like that, a frozen strawberry daiquiri at a restaurant, I would imagine would be like $12.
I didn't want him to have an alcoholic experience this way.
Grandma calling for better training.
Well, how did you want him to have it? With Debo and the boys on the block?
According to this statement from Outback Corporate, quote, "We take this situation very seriously and are thankful that the child involved was not seriously harmed. We have taken the appropriate disciplinary action and all our bar and staff has been retrained to ensure this does not happen again," end quote.
Just hope they don't make the mistake again.
A lot of
Oh, bull crap. He's an alcoholic now. He's been drinking every day since. He loved it.
kids get those non-alcoholic drinks, and we know mocktails are a big thing right now. Let this be your warning to double and triple check. Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
The real question is, who the heck's ordering virgin strawberry daiquiris? I'm just kidding. I just said that I used to drink virgin strawberry daiquiris. It's so gay. Okay, so the kid drinks Outback Steakhouse. That kid got hooked. Later, producer, go to bed. Here's why Wayne's the greatest. Here. Check this out. Listen to these stats. Lil Wayne got 5 classic albums. All of them are very... I don't know why I'm reading this. It's just something that came up, but it was interesting. He got top 5 rap discography. The Leak is the best rap EPs of all, one of the best rap EPs of all time, arguably. The Drought 3, Dedication 2, No Ceilings, No Apologies. Not No Apologies. Sorry for the Wait 2. Great mixtapes. Longevity is insane. He's been around since 1994. And he's still relevant to this day. More features than anybody. Top 5 selling rapper of all time. 5 #1 albums. Platinum. He got platinum albums in all 3 of the last 3 decades. About to be 4 of the last 4 decades. 4th and 6th spot for the highest first week rap sales of all time. 6th spot. The Carter 4 sold 964,000 copies in its first week. That's the one that beat Bulletproof from 50 Cent. 2nd most #1 songs in hip-hop history. Only behind Drake, who is from Wayne. So, that's why he's the GOAT. Undisputable. What else? Oh yeah, we got this story. I think I have a video on this story from YouTube. Let me see something real quick. We go to YouTube. We go to my liked videos. Let's see here. So there was a bombing in Moscow, or a terrorist attack in Moscow. Here we go. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this being on my. Don't worry about this.
When Google Fiber first launched 1 gig, it cost
$70.
Okay, but
4 suspects have been.
No, I was not reading this book. I was listening to an audio of it. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about any of this over here. We're not looking into World War II. We're not looking into that. Who just texted me? Somebody just texted me. How about going for coffee tomorrow? How about going for coffee tomorrow afternoon? Who the hell is this? Dude, some program got my, either a bot or something got my phone number, and they're trying to scam me. Somebody trying to go see me for coffee tomorrow. I don't even know this area code or this phone number, so I don't know who that is. Oh my God, you do watch Candace Owens. I knew it. Yeah, I told you I did. You trying to say you don't even know her content. You don't even watch her show. Yes, I do. I know everything. I watch everything. I see it all. I see it all. You ever question me like I don't know what I'm talking about? I keep getting fake texts too. Yeah, I've been getting them a lot lately. I think I added somebody on Facebook that I thought was Mr. Mad, even though I knew he doesn't have a Facebook. But for some reason, I thought this guy kind of looked like him, and then it had a name. And Mr. Mad's told me his name before, but I always forget. But I think it was the same first name that he told me. And it was a Hispanic sounding name. And I know Mr. Mad is Colombian, so I thought, and it looked kind of like him. So I added him. And then he started messaging me, and I thought it was Mr. Mad. So he's like, "What's your phone number? I need to send you something so I can get into my Facebook account." So I sent him my phone number, and I'm thinking it's Mr. Mad. I'm like, wait, Mr. Mad has my phone number. Why would he need this? And then I get a text saying, "I'm going to send you a link. You need to click it and send it to me so that I can get my Facebook login code." And when he sent that to me, I was like, this doesn't sound like Mr. Mad anymore. And then I started asking it questions and stuff, and I quickly figured out that it was a bot and it was not Mr. Mad. But they had already had my phone number. I blocked him on Facebook. I blocked him in the phone, and now I get weird texts from numbers. I don't know. All kinds of scams. You got to be careful. You got to be careful with these scams. I am never questioning you again, Josh. Yeah, well, anyone else here about Putin opening a vault exposing Jesus is black? Is it a Vatican catacomb? I heard the Vatican has records and stuff that show that Jesus wasn't even actually the Messiah. Now, this is all conspiracy theories. I don't believe it, but allegedly they have documents. This is like what anti-Christian and anti-Catholic people maybe made up. But I know the Vatican does have a lot of information that they don't let us know about. They keep things cloudy. There's a lot of texts and a lot of documents and a lot of manuscripts that they don't put out there to the world because they own them and they keep them. And that's why I'm no fan of the Vatican, because I want complete transparency, right? But apparently they got some documents. And apparently also in the Vatican they have all the statues' wieners, because one of the popes thought it was public indecency because all the statues were naked, so he went around chopping off all the thangs of the statues, and then they put up fig leaves. That's why a lot of the statues will have a fig leaf where the wiener used to be. It's not because it was originally carved that way. It's because the Pope at the time chopped all the wieners off the statues and put them in the Vatican. So there's a vault room somewhere in the Vatican that's just filled with statue wieners. And this guy had a weird fetish with with statue wieners. And he collected them from all over Rome and all over Europe. The Glizzy room in the vault. We got that Glizzy room. All right, let's look into this Moscow attack. Terrorist attack in Moscow. 4 men charged. This looks pretty crazy. It was in like a concert hall. I don't know what they did. I'm about to find out along with you guys. So, oh dang, that makes sense. Ew, statue wiener vault. The weenies. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what I heard allegedly.
Been charged in the deadly terrorist attack at a concert hall in Russia. New video tonight of them being brought inside a Moscow courtroom. 7 of their alleged accomplices have also been.
Was that one of the guys who did it? He got beat up by the cops or what? Oh my gosh, is this the damage?
Taken into custody. Investigators say at least 137 people, including 3 children, were killed in Friday's attack. More than 100.
I didn't know it was like that. 4 suspects charged. The suspects lived. 137 people died. What did they do? They closed the exit doors and light the concert hall on fire? Isn't that like a movie? Isn't that from a movie? Didn't they do that in some movie? They did that in Tenet. Christopher Nolan's Tenet. A lot of people didn't like the movie Tenet. I like the movie Tenet. I think Christopher Nolan can do no wrong. Except I think Oppenheimer is his worst movie, by the way. Just saying. Anyway, Tenet, I liked Tenet. But in Tenet, they lock the doors and then they have bombs in the theater hall. So that's crazy. This just happened in a movie that came out like 2 years ago. Hold on, I want to hear this again. This is crazy.
Been taken into custody. Investigators say at least 137 people,
137.
including 3 children, were killed in Friday's attack. More than 180 other people injured. An Islamic
180
State group
other
now claiming responsibility for the attack, which is considered the deadliest on Russian soil in years.
An Islamic group in Russia? I know they got dang Muslims in Russia, but why? Oh, probably because they're Orthodox Christians. They don't like Christians. Nobody likes Christians anymore. Nobody's ever liked Christians except God. The only one who matters loves Christians. Everybody else hates us. Let's go. Let's go, boys. But hey, these damn Muslims took out 137 people in Russia. They just did more damage than the entire Ukraine war has done to Russia in one fell swoop at one concert hall. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, what did they do? What did they do? How did they just lit it on fire? Was it a bomb? They don't explain.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get
Hi,
more
Mark
great
Brown.
ABC7 content
Hey
by
there,
clicking
Mark
the
Brown. Hey, Mark Brown. Nice to meet you, Mark Brown. My name is Cleveland. A lot of Eastern Russia is Muslim? Huh. Who were they attacking? How did they do it? That's what I want to know. What we know about the Moscow concert hall attack and why ISIS is claiming responsibility. Armed attackers stormed a concert hall near Moscow on Friday. Russian state media reported at least 137 people were killed and more than 100 were injured. They must have bombs and everything. But don't ISIS Muslim types usually not shoot places up? They just walk in with a bomb vest. Apparently the suspects aren't dead. Or they've been charged. Maybe they are dead. I don't know. ISIS-K, a branch of the Islamic State, claimed responsibility for the attack. At least 137 people were killed. More than 145 were injured on Friday in an attack after a group of armed individuals opened fire at the Crocus City Hall music venue near Moscow. Russian state media agency TASS reported, citing the Russian Investigative Committee, the number of reported casualties would make this one of the deadliest attacks near Russia's capital in recent years. Here's what we know so far. Right. But it's only white kids. It's only white kids doing the mass shootings, right? A group of masked individuals opened fire. So they did that with guns. They killed 137 people with guns and lit the whole building on fire. They had to have had explosives. The whole place was on fire. 4 people directly tied to the attack were arrested, and all of them lived. Their identities were later revealed to be Dalazarzov, Mirzoyev, Sidrakami, Rakaletabilitsadoda, Mukahamid Sobadir, Faizov, and Shamsuddin Fariduni. Just so you know, I can't say any of those names. I have no idea how to say any of those names. That was horrible. That was horrible. I don't read Muslim Russian. This is the toughest thing ever. This is like Russian combined with Middle Eastern names. I have no idea how to say any of those names. In his first remarks addressing the massacre, Russian President Vladimir Putin said Saturday afternoon that Kremlin authorities detained a total of 11 people suspected to be tied to the attack. On Sunday, 3 of the 4 suspects who were charged with carrying out the attacks pled guilty in a Russian court. According to the AP, Mirzoyev, Rakido, Bilisioda, and Fariduni pleaded guilty, according to the report. TASS reported that Picnic, a Russian rock band, was scheduled to perform in the venue on Friday. According to the venue's website, the concert hall can accommodate about 6,200 people. More than 133 people were killed, 145 injured. Some of the injured children. Michaela Muscicato told local police, according to TASS. An explosion soon rocked the building. So they did have explosives, starting a fire. Okay. So that's, I knew there had to be some sort of incendiaries because why was the whole building on fire? That's wild. That's a lot of people. That's crazy. All right. Enough of that story. A
21-year-old.
Let's listen to a fun story. Actually, this is not a very fun story. Is this where the mountain lion was jumping around? Anyway, they had to euthanize a mountain lion in California because it killed somebody. A lot of times I've heard that these stories, environmentalist types and animal protectionist types, when something like this happens, they won't even tell the public because it will cause a community outrage, a community uprising where they go out and they hunt all the mountain lions to death. So like if you have a town, a little boy gets killed by a mountain lion, they don't tell the townspeople because the townspeople used to grab up the pitchforks and then they would go kill all the mountain lions. So the environmentalist types are like, we don't want the mountain lions to go extinct, so we can't even tell the people that this happened, which is why you get a lot of the missing 401 cases, which is the there's a conspiracy theory about national parks abducting children, and you can get canceled for talking about this. They don't like when you talk about this, which leads me to believe it could be true. But basically, the theory is, the idea is, lots of kids mysteriously go missing in national parks every year. And there's a lot of strange stories about how the kids will just disappear. The parents will look away. The kid's 40 yards away. The parent looks away for a second, looks back. The kid's gone. And then there's one story where they found evidence of the kid like miles away. And the parents are like, they'll find like the kid's backpack 2 miles away. And then a Snickers bar that the kid had, a wrapper from it, 3 miles away in another direction. And the parents are like, and they'll find this stuff doing a search shortly after losing the kid. They'll find these things and they're like, there's no way the kid could have traveled through this forest in both directions. If somebody kidnapped the kid, how did one of his items get over here and one of his items got over here? There's no way he could have traveled all this land in this amount of time. So there's a lot of mysteries behind these disappearances that happen in these national forests. One argument is that animals kill them and the stories never get reported on because mass hysteria takes hold. The community gets a bunch of pitchforks and they go out and they kill all the bears. They go out and they kill all the mountain lions because a little boy died. So a lot of these stories, they don't even tell you about it till months after it's happened or after they've already taken out the beast. So they euthanized a lion for killing a little boy. Let's watch this story real quick.
Is dead. His 18-year-old brother was injured after they were attacked by a mountain lion. Good evening. I'm Luke Clary.
And I'm Devin Truby. The brothers were out hunting together when it happened. Take a look. It happened in the remote part of El Dorado County, southeast of Georgetown. It took officials nearly half an hour to reach them. Our Garj Paul Sangha has details about the attack tonight.
People living in this foothill town of Georgetown shocked when learning that a mountain lion killed one person and injured another. While an incident like this is rare, locals say seeing them is not.
They're requesting code 3 for a possible mountain lion attack.
In rural El Dorado County,
Bro, you don't want to get in a fight with no damn mountain lion. I'll take a mountain lion over a bear, though.
officials say a mountain lion killed one person and injured another.
RP's brother was being pinned down and the lion had a hold of his neck.
The chilling
Damn.
dispatch audio describing the intense moment.
And that's a creepy looking forest shot right there. Like, you do not want to get lost in this forest.
Deputies found a location of blood splatter with a hat and drag marks.
The tragic incident taking place Saturday afternoon when two brothers ages 21 and 18 were in the area antler shed hunting when a mountain...
Look at that little bitch. I'll break your neck, lion. Jump at me, fool. Let's go. I'll take him. I think when Daddy Jub asked what was the heaviest animal that you could beat in a fight with your bare hands, he said hippopotamus. I think somebody said mountain lion, and he's like, you're out of your damn mind. A mountain lion will tear your ass.
Mountain lion attacked them.
Deputies are in the area with rifles attempting to locate.
The mountain lion was facing
I
the
love
deputies,
bears.
and
Remember when
in an
medical
attempt
records were
to
saved?
get to the
Sacred?
individual
Wonder why it's
to
changed.
render
Think.
first aid, they discharged their firearms.
Sergeant Kyle Parker with the El Dorado County Sheriff's Office says the mountain lion ran away from the area of Darling Ridge and Skid Roads.
They're going to rename Bear Creek Mountain Lion Creek now.
Searched the 21-year-old after the 18-year-old brother called.
Our greatest condolences go out to the family. It's a very just tragic event.
The attacks are rare in the area. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Bro, they keep doing this side scrolling. Who did this B-roll? How fast did they put this article together? Let's just film as we're driving to the place. Let's just film B-roll of the forest going by. This looks like a horror movie.
Reports the last fatal mountain lion attack in Northern California was 20 years ago. Also in El...
Now, see, so what they say is that this is actually not true. It's actually much more frequent, but they don't tell people because people get freaked out. They have mass hysteria and paranoia, and they just start killing all the mountain lions.
Dorado County in 1994 at the Auburn State Recreation Area.
Raises some concerns for security for us as we hike.
Yeah, me too.
We have animals, some farm animals, so we know we're
No way,
vulnerable.
that cat would F you up. That cat would F you up. You're probably right, Dean. Donations? Never been... For cover-ups, for donations. Medical records were kept sacred. Wonder why that's changed. Well, Hippocratic Oath doesn't mean anything anymore. The doctors will just kill you.
We'll say mountain lion sightings near Georgetown have become a regular occurrence.
Very rare, but we're overpopulated with them by all means. Yeah. So
Not for long, we're not. Me and the boys are getting the pitchforks tonight.
used to be hunted back in when I was a kid up here. We'd go hunting and they banned the hunting on them and we are overpopulated. Yeah, the sightings nonstop up here now. See them in packs.
Oh, the mountain lion hunting's going up, boys. Oh, Cletus and Jim Bob about to go out there with a truck and exact some vengeance on these mountain lion populations.
2 or 3, and that wasn't common.
The 18-year-old's condition remains unknown. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife and officials with El Dorado County did catch the mountain lion and are examining
How much
his
do I
body
need for
further.
new shoes? You got me? I don't need new shoes. My shoes are not, these are my work shoes, and they're not that bad. They're bright green. They're not that bad. They're a little dirty. They're actually dirty on the side. This is just from working, but if I clean them off, they're actually still in good condition. They're not falling apart yet. They don't talk yet. You know, inside's nice, not all cut up. Now they're dirty because I work in them, and it's an ugly color. My brother gave me these, and I didn't like the color, so I never wore them. But then my other shoes fell apart, so I just started wearing them. But I don't need money for shoes. I need money for other things. I need money for life. I need money for a new phone. I got things I got bills I need to pay. Last time I seen them, they was hollering. Were they? Maybe, was it these shoes or a different pair of shoes? A mountain lion would mess you up, but you win the fight unless you were young or infirm or a Democrat. Yeah, I think with adrenaline, I think most men could take, because a mountain lion is only like, what are they, like 40 pounds? You just gotta, damn, man. Could you imagine, though? You're going to get slashed up. You're going to get slashed up. It's not good. So, I don't know. I don't want to get in a fight with a mountain lion. But if I did, I would try to survive. That's what I would do. If I got in a fight with a mountain lion, all I know is I'm going to try to survive. I'm going to try to find a rock and smash its head in. I'm going to try to choke it out, try to get its neck and break its neck. Whatever I got to do. Whatever I got to do. I'm going to get slashed up. We're going to have to deal with it. 40 pounds of muscle and razor blades. Yeah, they are 40 pounds, huh? 40 pounds of just pure muscle and lacerating sharpness everywhere. Just flying claws, teeth. I hate a mean cat. A mean house cat sucks. You know? I'll take a bird over a cat. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to get in a fight with a goose. A mountain lion has 240 frames per second refresh rate. Yeah, they're quick. They're quick. Okay. Couple more little stories here. LGBT news. Do we want to read that? I had airplane stats. This was supposed to be in the other thing. I've seen conflicting reports saying that airplanes are safe, but when I look at this graph, not graft. This yellow line is onboard fatalities. We have quite a big spike here from 2000. Oh, is this because of September 11th? Damn. I think 2001, we had a lot of airplane fatalities in 2001. But then the numbers stay pretty consistent, you know. So is it just fear mongering? Is this all fear mongering? What I've read and when I was looking into the plane stuff, which is from the last segment, is that it's actually pretty consistent. But there was something here. COVID-19 pandemic dramatically impacted commercial air travel. Miles flown decreased by 42%. Miles flown in 2022 rebounded 56%. So the numbers went up from 2021 to 2022. Registered civilian aircraft increased. I forgot what it's at. But anyway, this is from the last segment, so we're going to get off this. Update on the abortion ruling. Update on the abortion ruling from, I believe this was Alabama. From IVF to birth control, Supreme Court abortion pill case could spark challenges to other drugs. Oh, yeah, this is, we're trying to get rid of the mifepristone. You know, because what's the point of not having abortions if somebody could just buy a pill and kill the baby with a pill? So, Mr. Matt, it could have helped. It loosened you up. Shout outs to Anne Frank, though. What about Anne Frank? You know, I'm just bugging around. Mr. Mad, you got tossed up. You got tossed up in a few. The special barrel you were hitting got you there. Can't drink enough water. I don't know what that means. I think I missed something. Anyway. So update on the abortion stuff. The pharmaceutical industry warns that if courts can second guess FDA approval of drugs, cases could arise on other contentious issues, including vaccines, birth control, and hormone therapy. Awesome. That sounds base. That sounds excellent. Great. Good job. Good job, Supreme Court. Question the mifepristone. Question the FDA approval of hormone therapies, birth control, vaccines. Question it. Good. Good. We need to get rid of the baby killing pills. We need to get rid of the turn little boys to little girl pills. We need to get rid of the Vaselines that they give 80 of them to a kid, and then we wonder why autism rates are going up. And we need to get rid of the birth control. Birth control is just as bad as abortion. How about that? No, okay, I won't say it's just as bad as abortion. That's wrong. But I don't like birth control either. Because let's be honest, condoms are gay, and a woman on birth control, they've done studies that show that it increases their attractiveness to feminine men. So the women get with a feminine man, and then they hate him because he's weak. He's like a little girl. He's like his mama. And then they don't want to be with him no more. But they're not attracted to the strong men because they're on birth control. And then when they get married on birth control, and then they stop taking the birth control, and then they realize they're not actually attracted to the guy that they're with because he's a beta. Wow. Let's go, Supreme Court. Vaccines, birth control pills, hormone therapies, and fertility drugs would be subject to new litigation if the Supreme Court endorses a challenge to abortion pill mifepristone. Pharmaceutical industry experts warn. When the court on Tuesday weighs whether to roll back Food and Drug Administration findings that made mifepristone more readily available, it is not just access to that particular drug used for the majority of abortions nationwide that is on the line. The pharmaceutical industry has, and also this company, we need to go after them for infanticide. We need to hit them as hard as we hit the damn Nazis. Just saying. And the doctors and the women who get abortions, they all need to go to jail. Everybody needs to go to jail. Not the women who did it in the past. You don't retroactively lock up women who had an abortion in the past. But once you make the act illegal, then if a woman gets an abortion, she goes to jail for murder or accessory to murder at the very least. The doctor goes to jail for murder. The mifepristone company, they all get locked up. Lock them all up. Lock them all up. Always question everything. The truth is out there. Cue the X-Files music. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. No, even worse. Birth control makes them resent their existing partner 100%. We talking about Tetris? What about abortions being done for medical reasons, such as a child will be born brain dead or whatnot? That's not a medical reason to kill a baby. With that argument, we should just kill all the Down syndrome people in the world. That's not a medical reason to get an abortion. There is no medical reason to get an abortion. They have C-sections. It's the most popular surgery done in America. There's absolutely no medical reason to have an abortion. That's not a real thing. That's a lie that they make up to get abortion, to have abortions done. It would likely lead to litigation over other drugs, both current and those yet to be approved, on which people have strong feelings. If the anti-abortion groups win, anyone with an ideological disagreement, coupled with a scientifically untrained judge, could challenge the FDA's authority, said Amanda Banks, a physician and entrepreneur who signed a brief along with dozens of other pharmaceutical executives and companies backing the FDA. The main pharmaceutical industry group, PHRMA, also filed a brief in support of the government. Some activists have long railed against certain vaccines, claiming without evidence that they can cause autism. During the COVID-19 pandemic, there were largely unfounded concerns raised by vaccine skeptics that the vaccines were not safe. Unfounded. Anti-abortion activists, some of whom oppose all contraceptives, like myself, have long opposed the morning after pill, viewing it as akin to abortion despite evidence. What evidence? You take a pill, it kills the baby that has been conceived. Yeah, that's still murder. LGBTQ activists have called the FDA to specifically approve the use of hormone therapies for gender-affirming treatments. Groups that oppose gender-affirming care for transgender youth have also asked the FDA to prevent puberty blockers from being prescribed to minors. This all sounds amazing, but look at the way the media spends it. All of these things are great. All of these things are very good. Good job, Supreme Court. Good job, whoever's getting this in the news, reporting on it, even though the news is going to spin it skewed like this is all horrible. Oh, they don't want the kids to be able to change their gender. Oh, they don't want people to be able to kill the babies. Oh, and they're going to cry about it and try to spin it a certain way. But all of this stuff is amazing. Good work, Supreme Court. I'm behind you. Let's shut down the FDA. Let's shut down Big Pharma. Shut down the public schools. Shut down all the hospitals. Let's take it back to caveman style. You want to know what a trad? You want to talk about a trad con? Here's a real trad con. Shut down the schools, shut down the hospitals, shut down the big corporations. The anarchists can get behind me on this one. We're going to go anarcho-primitivism. We're going to start some dang communes in the dang woods with tents. We're going to hunt, we're going to forage, and we're going to share. We're not going to share too much. We're only going to share if you work. If you don't work, you don't eat. I'm with it. Let's shut it all down. That's real TradCon right there. Supreme Court has a 6-3 conservative majority hostile to abortion rights. No such thing as an abortion right. No such thing as a right to kill somebody that only women get. That's not very equal rights, is it? Wait till you realize rights are fake. Rights are fake. No such thing as a right. Period. Human right, civil right, animal right, abortion right, baby murder right, change your gender right, have a weird sexuality right. There's no rights. There aren't rights. There are rights and there are wrongs. But you don't get a right to do wrong, which is all rights are. The government lets you do something that you should normally just know not to do. The government lets you do it, and we all have to respect it and tolerate it. That's what a right is. Anyway, so that's cool. This is all good news. I'm glad to hear this. Alito, Clarence Thomas objected. The justice put Kaczmarek's ruling on hold. Could be a sign that the majority is inclined to reject the challenge. Only one of the 9 justices, conservatives Clarence Thomas, only 2 of the 9 justices, conservatives Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, objected to that decision. It is possible the court could resolve the case without delving into the knotty legal issue around the FDA's approval process. The government has argued strenuously that the doctors and others who filed the lawsuit do not have legal standing because they cannot show any injury that can be traced to the FDA's decision. Nice. Okay. Cool. And speaking of, I didn't read this yet, but here's one of those stories where they got to pull on our heartstrings with the LGBTQ people. How 2 recent cases of violence illustrate the lives of LGBTQ people. Suicide rates for queer and trans people are disproportionately high. Shocker. They're also routinely targets of violence and hate crimes. Dumb. While some states have protections for queer and trans people, many other states have passed laws that restrict the rights and visibility of transgender individuals. Based. The stories of Nex Benedict and Dime Doe illustrate both these trends. Benedict died by suicide the day after a physical altercation in their school bathroom. Benedict had been bullied by other students for more than a year. Well, stop being a weirdo, Benedict. Dime Doe, I guess they can't now. They can't do it anymore. Dime Doe, a black trans woman, was killed in 2019 last month. A man who had been in a relationship with Doe was found guilty of killing her. It's the first time a hate crime against a trans person was brought to trial. Huh. So she was a black trans woman. What does that mean? A black trans woman? Does that mean it was like a white man? What's a black trans woman? What does that mean? Does that mean it was a white man? Probably with another white man. And since they identified as a black trans when he killed him, he got a hate crime for it? I don't know. Probably something weird in that case. What do these cases tell us about the lives of trans and queer people in America? If you're not going to answer the question? They don't even answer the question. It's an open-ended article. What do these cases tell us about the lives of trans and queer people in America? And then they don't answer the question. It says, if you or someone you know needs help, call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If any of you guys need help, call 988. Don't call me, because I ain't going to help. I ain't going to help. All right. That's it for the rapid fire news, the reels, the memes. We have only got 1 segment left. We got a little less than an hour, guys. Let's go. Hit the like button while you're here. Make sure you're subscribed. If you like it, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell everybody. I literally woke up ish-faced and went to physical therapy. I'm surprised they didn't kick me out. They didn't call me out on it. Hold on, what's that? I read that sometimes something happens to the baby and the baby was going to die. So to save the mother, they took the baby out, or both child and mother would be dead. Yeah, they do a C-section, and that's very rare, Dean. That's very, very, very rare. And it's also a lie. The mother's not going to die. They just do a C-section. They cut the baby out. It doesn't make sense that if there's a baby that's inside of there and it's not going to come out naturally, so we have to get the baby out, right? Or the mother's going to die. Whether or not the baby is alive or dead, if the mother's going to die from giving birth to the baby, they just cut the baby out. They do a C-section and they cut the baby out. It's not necessary to kill the baby before you cut the baby out. You could do a C-section while the baby's still alive. So that's a myth. That's a medical myth. That's something they make up to push for abortion rights. They say, "Oh, it's women's health and it's grapes and that's why we need the abortions." When in reality, grape is not a good argument for abortion. You don't punish an innocent child with death because something evil that some man did. And the medical thing is a myth. It's a myth. They don't have to kill the baby before they take it out to save the mom's life. If they have to get the baby out to save the mom's life, they will do a C-section and they'll cut the baby out. They can do that while the baby's still alive. That does not justify an abortion. That's a lie that they tell people. And I could probably get in trouble with YouTube for saying this. They're allowed to lie to people, but I'm not allowed to lie to people, quote unquote. Miscarriage, not an abortion. Never mind. Never mind, it's a miscarriage, not an abortion. Yeah, if a miscarriage is when the child dies before it's born. So that's something totally different. I think C-sections are BS. I'm not a fan of C-sections, but in this case, if the baby being born would kill the mother, and there's a way that you can cut her belly and pull the baby out without killing her, then I say let's do that. But you don't have to kill the baby before you take it out. You can take the baby out while it's alive. Then the mother and the child both live. Win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. All right. Enough of that stuff. Let's celebrate the holidays, guys. It's Easter time. It's Easter time. Let's talk about the holidays real quick. Let's see if I got any happy music for this. Let's talk about Easter real quick. I think I got some happy music somewhere. Let me see. See, that's Christmas music. They don't have Easter music. Party time. Hold on. Happy Storyteller? Trying to find some happy music. But it's all Christmas music. Guys, it's Easter. It's Easter. It's a wonderful time of the year. Yesterday was Palm Sunday. Happy Palm Sunday to everybody. We got Good Friday coming up, and we have Easter coming up. So, last week we did why Easter is not pagan. And we talked about the meaning of the season. We're going to do a little deeper dive into the meaning of all these days, what they represent, what we're celebrating, the true things that we're celebrating with our bunnies and our chocolate and our eggs, all these fun little things we do at Halloween time. That's great. Or not Halloween time, at holiday time. That's great. But let's focus on the true meaning of the season. So let's get into this right now. Let me open up my articles and we'll read about just some basic research, just some Wikipedia at all these holidays. Because we're getting back-to-back Jesus days. Back-to-back Jesus days over the next couple weeks. Check out Cashapp, Playboy. Oh! Do I got to do some push-ups in the middle of the show? Do I got to do some push-ups in the middle of the show? Well, who is this person? Why are they asking me if I want to get coffee tomorrow? I don't know who you are. And also, I don't do a coffee date. The heck? No, I ain't trying to get coffee with you. I work at night. I'm going to be asleep when you're getting coffee. Oh, snap. Dang, Mr. Mad. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I need that right now too. I get paid tomorrow, but I'm a little bit I got my budget figured out. I'm going to be able to get a new phone. Not with this paycheck. I get paid tomorrow and I got to pay some bills. And then my next paycheck, I'm finally going to get a new phone. But I was going to be a little short in a few areas. That helps out. My gas bill is freaking ridiculous because my gas thing for my heat, I don't know. They charge me so much for running the heat. And then my swamp cooler is broken, so there's a hole in my ceiling basically, and the cold air comes through. Then the heater has to work double hard. And then at the end of the winter, Shane tells me, you can like stuff a pillow up there and it will stay warmer in here. And I was like, oh my God, I should have thought about that. Why did I not think of that? So all winter I've had a hole in my ceiling and I've been paying extra for heating when I could have stuffed like something up in that hole. I could have blocked that hole and not had to pay so much. Men, remember, just plug up the hole and you won't have to pay as much. Pause. Everyone is being funny all at once. Happy to help, amigo. Nah, no push-ups? Okay. We'll do push-ups in a tomorrow gaming stream. Jesse says get a second job. What the? That's true. I could get a second job. But if I got a second job, I can't stream. It's okay. I make enough to survive with my one job, and I'm not the type of person that's obsessed with how much money I have and think that defines a person's character by how much money they have. I'm really not about that life. I don't mind just getting by. I would rather do stuff I enjoy, focus on that than working my hands to the bone, working 20 hours a day. Yeah, I got a lot of money, but I can't do anything with it. I don't have time to do anything with it or enjoy my life because I'm just working all the time. I'd rather do things I enjoy, even if I don't make a lot of money off of it. But because of Mr. Mad, it just made this stream worthwhile. It just made this stream that I'm doing. I'm basically getting paid the same as when I work. So if we could get to that place, that would be amazing. But if not, then so be it. When you're in love with money, you'll never have enough. Exactly. Shout outs to plugging up the holes. Okay, let's read about Palm Sunday, which was yesterday. Palm Sunday is the Christian movable feast that falls on the Sunday before Easter. The feast commemorates Christ's triumphal. It says triumphal entry into Jerusalem. This is when Jesus comes to Jerusalem. He rides in on the camel's back into Jerusalem. The entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem. Here's a painting by Pietro Lorenzetti. Nice. Let's see. His entry into Jerusalem, an event mentioned in each of the 4 canonical Gospels. Its name originates from the palm branches waved by the crowd to greet and honor Jesus Christ as he entered the city. Palm Sunday marks the first day of Holy Week in Western Christianity. This is the beginning of the last week of the solemn season of Lent, preceding Eastertide. While in Eastern Christianity, Holy Week commemorates after the conclusion of Great Lent. So Lent's ending. We get to eat our eggs. We've hard-boiled our eggs. We get to eat our eggs. Oh, you know what I'm going to spend that money on, Mr. Mad? I'm going to get a egg dyeing kit. We're going to dye some eggs. Friday or Saturday during the stream, we're going to dye some Easter eggs. So I'm going to get an egg dyeing kit, and I'm probably going to get a chocolate bunny, which is only going to be like $6 or something. I'll get some cheap stuff, so don't worry. I'm not going to blow all the money on an Easter egg dyeing kit, but I will get an egg dyeing kit. So see, we're putting it back into the show. It'll give us something entertaining to do next week. during the snore stream. But in most Christian rites, Palm Sunday is celebrated by the blessing and distribution of palm branches, representing the palm branches that the crowd scattered before Christ as he rode into Jerusalem. These palms are sometimes woven into crosses. The difficulty of procuring palms in unfavorable climates led to the substitution of branches of native trees, including box, olive, willow, and yew. Right, because by this point, that area is turning into a desert. At some point, they probably had a lot of palm trees, but at this point, that area is starting to turn into a desert. So there's not a lot of palm trees around, which is also why it's argued that Jesus probably would not have been a carpenter, because the area where he lived, Nazareth, and Jerusalem, and Bethlehem, and all these areas didn't have a lot of trees. They didn't have a lot of wood. It's argued that now maybe this is a Masonic lie that they tell us to make Masonry more acceptable, but I've heard that it's arguable from historians and whatnot that Jesus would have been a mason or a stone worker instead of a carpenter, and that the word that they used to mean carpenter just meant somebody who works with their hands and makes stuff, and it was more likely that Jesus would have been doing that with stone than with wood, because there wasn't a lot of access to wood at this point in that area. It was a damn desert, is what I'm saying. Many churches of mainstream Christian denominations, including the Orthodox, Catholic, Lutheran, Methodist, Anglican, Moravian, and Reformed traditions, distribute palm branches to their congregation during their Palm Sunday liturgies. Christians take these palms, which are often blessed by clergy, to their homes where they hang them alongside Christian art, especially crosses and crucifix, or keep them in their Bibles and daily Sunday devotional books. These days preceding the next year's Lent, known as Carnival or Shrovetide, churches often place a basket in their narthex. What's a narthex? Plan of a Western cathedral with a narthex in the shaded area. A narthex is an architectural element typical of early Christian and Byzantine basilicas and churches, consisting of the entrance of a vestibule located at the west of a nave. So it's like a little courtyard. It's like a little courtyard area. Okay. The narthex. Narthex. This is a narthex. Looks like some questionable art, if you ask me. We just need two huevos here and here, and that narthex looks awfully suspect. Anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So that's Palm Sunday. Yesterday was Palm Sunday. Shout out Palm Sunday. I'm hoping it was because I'm beyond and nauseous like a tooth. What did I say? What did I say about day trading? You were saying it's good if you got play money. If you got money to play with, it's good to day trade. Okay. So Palm Sunday. Happy Palm Sunday to everybody. It's over. Next, we have Good Friday coming up from Encyclopedia Britannica. Let's learn about Good Friday. That's this Friday coming up. Good Friday is the day that Jesus died. I guess they call it Good Friday because it's really Jesus dying on the cross for us is the most good that ever could have happened. It's the most good any one man could have ever done for civilization in the world, because it gives us a way out of the hell that we live in. And so that's why we call it Good Friday. Seems kind of morbid to call the day that our Savior got murdered Good Friday, but we understand why it's good. Let's see what Encyclopedia Britannica had to say about Good Friday. The Friday before Easter, the day on which Christians annually observe the commemoration of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. From the early days of Christianity, Good Friday was observed as a day of sorrow, penance, and fasting, a characteristic that finds expression in the German word Karfreitag, sorrowful Oh, so in German, it's actually Sorrowful Friday. But in America, we got to make everything more peppy. We got to make everything more peppy and more happy. So we call it Good Friday. I actually like the German name better. Karfreitag. Karfreitag. Sorrowful Friday. Following the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the mainstream of Christian tradition was held that Jesus' last meal with his disciples on the evening before his crucifixion was a Passover Seder. Passover Seder? What's a Passover Seder? A religious meal served in Jewish homes on the 15th and 16th of the month. Okay, nice. That would place the date on which Jesus died on 15th of Nisan of the Jewish calendar, or on the first day starting at sundown of Passover. According to starting at sundown, and this is what I've argued with some loser about how if it's sundown on Friday, then Saturday would be the first day, or if it's sundown on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's 3 days, is the point. Farpig Nugan, when I think about what Jesus did, I cry. I'm beyond thankful. All right. In contrast, holds that Passover had not yet begun when Jesus' final meal was held. So there's debates about the dates. There's always debates about the dates, especially when you have a Jewish calendar and a Gregorian calendar, different calendars. I don't think that the day dates are as important as the meaning of the days and what we're celebrating on those days. And people will try to use that as an argument to try to like rebuttal the Bible and stuff. Oh, the days aren't right. Bro, calendars change and we don't know the exact day. It's fine. That's not a defeater. That's not a defeater of the message. Christians, however, do not commemorate that fixed date. Instead, they follow the apparently flexible date of Passover, which conforms to the Jewish lunisolar calendar rather than the Gregorian solar calendar, by relating to the Last Supper to the Seder. Although the assumption is problematic, the dating of both Good Friday and Easter has proceeded on that basis. Thus, Good Friday falls between March 20th, the first possible date for Passover, and April 23rd, with Easter falling 2 days later. Yeah, I knew I knew Easter was usually in April. That's why I was confused this month. I guess it can be in March too. The question of whether and when to observe Jesus' death and resurrection triggered a major controversy in early Christianity, and that's stupid. We had a lot of arguments in Christianity, and we have a lot of division and a lot of separation that was not necessary because of things like the Council of Nicaea and the Catholic Church wanting to say we decide everything, the Orthodox Church saying we have apostolic succession, so we're going to decide the truth. You don't get to decide for yourself, even though that's what the Bible says all throughout it. Study to show yourself approved and all those things. Is that Miley Cyrus? All those things. But we argue over little things, little doctrines, and little confusions, and we separate and fragment and make ourselves weaker. It kind of sucks. The liturgical. Okay, so enough about Good Friday. Enough about Good Friday. Good Friday's coming up this Friday. Shout outs Jesus. We do this in Utah. We do a crosswalk. I'd like to find those guys. Now this is some weird stuff. I don't know what this is, but I don't like this picture. I don't like this. Is this a Catholic thing or an Orthodox thing? Who is this? I don't like this. What is this? Bunch of Voldemorts carrying a cross? This is weird. I don't like this. But in Utah, we do a crosswalk on Good Friday where they go walking through all of downtown carrying a cross. Thing only weighs like 10 pounds and they got like 6 guys carrying it. Like Jesus carried that thing. Well, him and who was the guy? What was the guy's name that helped him carry it? I can't remember his name right now. But somebody helped him carry the cross. But it was 2 guys carrying a giant freaking thick beamed cross. Not 6 guys carrying 2 2x4s. Come on, guys, tighten up. You need a heavier cross. You need a heavier cross. You're going to be like Jesus. Jesus was carrying weight. All right. But last but not least, Easter. That pic gives cult vibes. Yeah, I don't like that stuff. That stuff's weird. That's why I don't like those churches are. I don't know if Jesus had any will. he didn't have free will, that's for sure. He had will, he just chose his father's will because he said, "Not my will, your will be done." So he had some sort of will, but really he submit to his father's will because that's what we're supposed to do. So let's talk about the resurrection. Easter is coming up this Sunday. I won't be streaming on Easter, but I will be streaming Friday and Saturday leading up to Easter. The resurrection of Jesus. Let's not read Wikipedia on this. Let's go look at Learn Religions. The resurrection story is the account of Jesus Christ rising from the dead after being crucified on the cross and buried in the tomb. It is the cornerstone of Christian doctrine and the foundation of Christian hope. By rising from the dead, Jesus Christ fulfilled his own promise to do so and solidified the pledge he made to his followers that they too would be raised from the dead to experience eternal life. That's John 14:19. Scripture references, we got in Matthew 28, 1 through 20, Mark 16, 1 through 20, Luke 24, 1 through 49, and John 20, 1 through 25. We're going to go ahead and read it from the ESV version out of Luke right now. We're going to do a little Bible thumping. We're going to do ESV version because it's simple, and I like the ESV, the English Standard Version. It's a very, what's the word? It's a literal translation. It's a good literal translation, not a mental translation like the NIV and the Women's Bibles and the Message. And you know that there's a, do you know that Hitler made a Bible? Hitler wrote a Bible. And do you know that women made a Bible? At some point, feminists, who did it? At some point, there was a feminist Bible that was made. You know, Thomas Jefferson wrote his own version of the Bible. He was a deist. Thomas Jefferson wrote a version of the Bible, and he took out all of Jesus's miracles because he didn't believe that Jesus was actually the Son of God. And he didn't believe Jesus did any miracles. And he didn't believe in the God of Abraham. So he wrote a Bible and he took out all the miracles of Jesus. Then the feminists wrote a Bible that took out all of the misogyny and the patriarchy from the Bible. They took out all of the, women obey your husband. They took out all the women don't speak in church. They took all that out in the women's Bible. So you got to be careful with these translations. But the ESV is a good translation. So we're going to go to Luke. And we're going to read the resurrection story. Jesus ate alpha jerky. I hate the weak look they give Jesus. I call those pictures Lady Jesus. Shout out to Fargo. I watched Fargo recently, and I had never seen it. Pretty good movie. If you loved every human on earth and you could sacrifice yourself to give them all everlasting salvation, would you be unwilling to go through with it? Nah, it wasn't against his will. It was against his will. He prayed and he was sweating tears of blood saying, "Take this cup from me, God. I don't want to do this. But if I have to, not my will, your will be done." Jesus's will was that of man's. It was weak. If Jesus was relying on his own will, he wouldn't have went to the cross. He couldn't do it. He said he couldn't do it. He said, if I had my will, I would call down a legion of angels to wipe all this people out so that I don't have to go through with this. But not my will, your will be done, God. And that's why he did it, because he didn't follow his own fears and his own human emotions. He followed the Spirit of God, which was working through him, his Father. He followed his will. But anyway, that's my take on it. Let's read this. We're going to read the resurrection story from Luke. The resurrection. This is Luke 24. But on the first day of the week, at early dawn, they went to the tomb, taking the spices they had prepared. This is after Jesus has been crucified. And they found the stone rolled away from the tomb. And also, atheists and stuff will use these verses and these resurrection stories to try to prove contradictions in the Bible. A difference in an eyewitness testimony is not proof that it's a contradiction. It's actually more proof that it's accurate, because if all the stories matched exactly, you could probably safely say that the same author wrote all of them. But they don't match exactly. There's slight differences because different people are telling the stories from their perspectives. they might have thought different things. Some people said they thought maybe the body was stolen. Some people said the women were there first, and some people said the women weren't there first. It depends on what time they got there. It depends on what they saw, how they analyzed it, how they thought. And so, of course, the stories are going to be slightly different. That's not a contradiction. That proves the testimony. It shouldn't be exactly the same. So anyway, and they found the stone rolled away from the tomb, but when they went in, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were perplexed about this, behold, 2 men stood by them in dazzling apparel. And as they were frightened and bowed their faces to the ground, the men said to them, "Why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still in Galilee, that the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and on the 3rd day rise." So Jesus said this was going to happen. That's prophecy. And they remembered his words, and returning from the tomb, they told all these things to the 11 and to all the rest. Now it was Mary Magdalene and Joanna and Mary, the mother of James, and the other women with them who told these things to the apostles. But these words seemed to them an idle tale, and they did not believe them. Right? Why would they keep this in the Bible when they could just easily take it out? Women's testimony was not acceptable testimony. Remember, and this is something that they would have taken out of the women's Bible because they didn't believe the women. They would not have left this in there if it were not true. There's no reason to keep this in there, to keep this part of the story in there. There's no reason to tell this as a lie. Right? There's no motivation or incentive to tell that lie. They'd rather just tell the truth about it. But these words seemed to them an idle tale, and they did not believe them. But Peter rose and ran to the tomb. Stooping and looking in, he saw the linen cloths by themselves, and he went home marveling at what had happened. That part's interesting. I remember in like Sunday school, they would show us a picture, and I don't know where this comes from or if this is true. Some of the pictures would show folded up linens on the stone where Jesus' body would have been, folded up linens. But others, they say that the linens were in the shape of a body because they wrap you up like a mummy, right? So that some of the pictures I saw, the linens were in the shape of a body, but there was no body inside of them. It's like they were just floating there. I don't know where they get that from. Maybe that was just to get the kids interested. I don't know about all that, but on the road to Emmaus that very day, 2 of them were going to a village named Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem, and they were talking with each other about all these things that had happened. While they were talking and discussing together, Jesus himself drew near and went with them, but their eyes were all kept from recognizing him. And he said to them, "What is this conversation that you are holding with each other as you walk?" And they stood still, looking sad. Then one of them, named Cleopas, answered him, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know the things that have happened here in these days?" And he said to them, "What things?" And they said to him, "Concerning Jesus of Nazareth, a man who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how our chief priests and rulers delivered him up to be condemned to death and crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one to redeem Israel. Yes, and besides all this, it is now the 3rd day since these things have happened. Moreover, some women of our company amazed us. They were at the tomb early in the morning, and when they did not find his body, they came back saying that they had even seen a vision of angels who said that he was alive. Some of those women who were with us went to the tomb and found it just as the woman had said, but him they did not see. And he said to them, "O foolish ones, and slow of heart to believe all the prophets have spoken." O foolish ones. This is the quote I was saying recently. O foolish ones, and slow of heart to believe all the prophets have spoken. They're slow to believe what the prophets have spoken because they're foolish. Was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory? And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. This is Jesus talking. They don't know it's Jesus yet. So they drew near to the village to which they were going. He acted as if he were going farther, but they urged him strongly, saying, "Stay with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is now far spent." So he went into them and to stay with them. When he was at the table with them, he took the bread and blessed and broke it and gave it to them. And their eyes were opened and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. They said to each other, "Did not our hearts burn within us while he talked to us on the road, while he opened to us the scriptures?" And they rose that same hour and returned to Jerusalem, and they found the 11 and those who were with them gathered together, saying, "The Lord has risen indeed and has appeared to Simon." Then they told what had happened on the road and how he was known to them in the breaking of the bread. We're almost done. Verse 36, Jesus appears to the disciples. As they were talking about these things, Jesus himself stood among them and said to them, "Peace to you." But they were startled and frightened and thought they saw a spirit. And he said to them, "Why are you troubled? And why do doubts arise in your hearts?" This is why I don't like that some pastors have openly denied the physical resurrection of Jesus and said that he just rose in spirit. He didn't just rise in spirit. He rose physically. His body rose with his body. And he explains that right here. They thought they saw a spirit, and he said to them, Why are you troubled, and why do doubts arise in your heart? See my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Touch me and see. For a spirit does not have flesh and bones, as you see that I have. This is Jesus directly saying he did not just rise as a spirit. He rose with his body, physically, a physical resurrection from death, and his body went to heaven, the same as Elijah. This is a physical resurrection. This is not just a spiritual resurrection, as some pastors might tell you. It was definitely a physical resurrection from Jesus himself. He said, "A spirit does not have flesh and bones, as you see that I have. Touch me, see me, feel my hands and my feet." They actually had to feel the holes in his hands and his feet. A spirit, if he just rose spiritually, he wouldn't still have the crucifixion. He wouldn't still have the what's the word? The stigmata. He wouldn't still have the stigmata if he just rose spiritually. He rose physically. And when he said this, he showed them his hands and his feet. And while they still disbelieved for joy and were marveling, he said to them, "Have you anything here to eat?" They gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he took it and ate it before them. Spirits don't need to eat fish. Then he said to them, "These are my words that I spoke to you while I was still with you, that everything written about me in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms must be fulfilled." Then he opened their minds to understand the scriptures and said to them, "Thus it is written, that the Christ should suffer and on the third day arise from the dead, and that repentance for the forgiveness of sins should be proclaimed in the name of all nations, beginning from Jerusalem. You are witnesses of these things, and behold, I am sending the promise of my Father upon you. But stay in the city until you are clothed with power from on high." Stay in the city until you are clothed with power from on high. And he led them out as far as Bethany, and lifting up his hands, he blessed them. While he blessed them, he parted from them and was carried up into heaven. And they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy and were continually in the temple blessing God. Based. And that's the story of the resurrection from Luke. And yeah, there's other passages. You can read it in Matthew, you can read it in Mark, you can read it on John. They're all slightly different perspectives. Maybe you like one more than the other. Luke tends to be the most popularly cited one. But we're not going to read all of them because I don't have a lot of time left. I only have 15 minutes left. But why the resurrection is important. The foundation of all Christian doctrine hinges on the truth of the resurrection. Facts. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Though he may die, he shall live. This is talking about a spiritual death and a physical death. You die your spiritual death and then you live. Then you will never die a physical death. You'll drop your body, but maybe you take your body with you. That's why I don't know if cremation is good. I've heard debates on this, and I think that cremation is okay. But a lot of people make good arguments that how are you going to reclaim your body if we burn it up to ashes? Ugh. But anyway, without the resurrection, Jesus could have been thought of as simply a great teacher and a good man. But after he rose from the dead, no man is good. Jesus said, no man is good. But after he rose from the dead, his followers knew for certain that he was who he had claimed to be, the resurrection and the life, the Savior of the world. The resurrection made it possible for Christians to receive the power of Christ's life living inside of them. Romans 6, 1-10, Philippians 1:21, Galatians 2:20. Likewise, the resurrection sealed the Lord's promise that all those who believe in him will experience resurrection life and share an eternity based. We'll read these points of interest, and then we'll probably be done with this segment, and we'll just hang out for like 10 minutes. There are at least 2 different appearances of Christ in the resurrection accounts, beginning with Mary and ending with the Apostle Paul. They were physical, tangible experiences with Christ eating, speaking, and allowing himself to be touched. The apostles, who were eyewitnesses to the risen Christ, experienced dramatic changes in their lives after meeting him, ruling out the possibility that the resurrection story was an invented one. Yeah, they weren't hallucinating. It wasn't a mass hallucination. Jesus' resurrected body was different from his physical body. It was no longer subject to the same laws of nature. He could transcend locked doors, and yet he could still be touched, and he could eat. Right? So it was a whole nother realm, because he was still physical, but at first he appeared out of nowhere, and they thought he looked like a spirit. He could pass through locked doors, but he still ate, and you could still touch him. You could still see his scars. So it was like a whole nother realm of existence, but it was a physical. Jesus was clear. I go off what Jesus said. I don't go off of conjecture. I don't go off of what the church decides how to interpret things. Jesus said, I'm here in the flesh. Does a spirit need to eat? Can you touch a spirit? Does a spirit have scars? Jesus said, I'm here in the flesh. I'm not here as a spirit. I'm here in the flesh. So that's what I go off of. It was a physical resurrection because Jesus said it was a physical resurrection. Before Jesus ascended into heaven, he gave the Great Commission, telling his followers to go and make disciples of all nations. The stone was not rolled away from the tomb so Jesus could get out. He was able to walk through walls in his resurrected body. The stone was rolled away so that everyone could see that he had risen. Facts. And that's why when somebody else goes there later, the stone is rolled away, and they say, the soldiers think the body was stolen because the stone got moved. No, the stone got moved because they heard that Jesus had risen, so they went and they rolled the stone away, and then somebody else gets there later, sees the stone rolled away, soldiers are looking around, and they say, we think the body got stolen. So that's not a contradiction. That's a story being told from different perspectives at different times. Makes perfect sense. But that's what we celebrate for Easter. That's what we celebrate for Easter. We will dye some eggs. We will eat some chocolate bunny. We ate some regular bunny too, some real bunny. You know, just celebrating the season. So, shout out Jesus. Praise God. He sent his son so that we had a way out of this hell that is earth. We had a way to be free of the snakes. Pretty based. Pretty based. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Praise God. Happy Easter, everybody. God bless everybody. And that's all I got for the show. We got 10 minutes. 10 minutes to hang out. 10 minutes just to hang out. Hang out. So that's that. The story of Easter. Let's see what chat's talking about. Yes, I also don't like the weak look they give Jesus. Yeah, Jesus was not an attractive man. Like, they always paint him, he's like a handsome guy with flowing hair, and he looks all nice and innocent. Like, I think Jesus probably looked kind of haggard. He probably had a big beard. He was probably dirty. He traveled a lot. He was probably kind of dirty. I think there's a verse that says he looked unappealing. He looked like an unappealing person. Some people said he looked like a drunkard. So I don't even think it's good for us to be painting Jesus and stuff like that. You know, they're trying to imagine what he looked like. It's not important. You know, it's not important what he looked like. A lot of people get caught up and hung up on that. Oh, the white Jesus. Look, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that weak looking white Jesus in that painting either. Jesus didn't have no Pantene Pro V. Jesus probably had some dirty, nappy dreadlocks with stuff stuck in his beard. He got fish stuck in his beard and bread. He's walking around drinking some wine. He's been walking through the desert for 3 weeks. His hair's matted up. He's probably dirty. They didn't have showers. They didn't have bathtubs. They didn't have soap like that. Like, you'd clean yourself with a pot of water, you know? So, basically, Jesus looked like Mr. Mad. No, Mr. Mad probably more attractive than Jesus. Pause. Jesus might have looked like me after a rough day. Dirty. Haven't shaved in a while. Looking scruffy. Looking scroungy. I want to party with Jesus. I know. I bet you Jesus was a blast, dude. Jesus made sure everybody had something to eat. Everybody got something to drink. You get bread and wine when you hang out with Jesus. One thing that's weird is they always sat on one side of the table. Why didn't they utilize the other side of the table? Who was standing there painting them so that they knew to all sit on the same side of the table? Was there a panoramic window on the other side, and that's why they all sat on the one side so they could look out the window? What's up with that? Why couldn't they use both sides? You could have a much shorter. That's a big table. Who's got a table that big? And actually, they wouldn't have even had a table like that. Just so you know, the Last Supper painting, which if you read the Da Vinci Code, you know the original version of the Last Supper painting had a woman next to Jesus, which was allegedly Mary. They took that out of the painting and changed it later. But anyway, that's all a bunch of nonsense anyway. But it is a good book. In reality, they wouldn't have even had a table. They would have been sitting on the floor. They would have been sitting in a circle on the floor on little pillows and eating on the floor. Or eating from bowls in their hands. They were all poor. You know? They were all poor, traveling, vagrants, vagabonds. They drank. They weren't rich. They weren't elites. They would not have had some giant table that they had the privilege to all sit on the same side of it. Our table's so big that all 12 of us can sit on one side of the table and pose for a painting. No. They would have been sitting on the floor in a circle in a hut somewhere. Just saying. You sit on one side for photo ops. Duh. Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. They were doing a photo op. And there was somebody painting. Leonardo. Who painted that? Was that Leonardo? Yeah, that was Da Vinci. Da Vinci was there. He had a time traveling machine. He did have some crazy inventions. He invented a time traveling machine and he was painting them. He said, everybody sit on the same side of the table. Well, we don't have a big enough table. Hold on. Let's call Jesus is a carpenter. Jesus, make us a bigger table real quick. Jesus like, all right, I'll get us a table big enough to fit 12 people on one side of it. And that's how, and Da Vinci had traveled through time. That's a gospel you guys may not have heard about. This is also probably a little bit blasphemous, so it's just a joke. It's just a joke. Forgive me, God. Do you guys think they got drunk on the last meal? Possibly. Well, I think they had self-control because that's a fruit of the Spirit, and I don't think they drank to drunkenness. But I do believe that the wine that they drank was much stronger than the stuff we have now. The wine they were drinking was probably like schnapps, like 30, like weak liquor strength, you know, stronger than wine, stronger than beer, not quite as strong as like some whiskey or something, but it was some strong stuff, and they drank it more than they drank water, so they probably had a very high tolerance, but I don't think they were getting smashed. No, I think they had enough self-control to drink and then go to bed. Drink, eat, be merry, have fun, have a fun time, and then go to bed. That's what I think. That's what I think. But I also think they had high tolerances because they were constantly drinking this strong drink. So I think they had good spirits. Cheers. JS, you need to call your Saturdays the last stream. Why would I call it that? It's not gonna be my last stream. In case y'all didn't figure it out, There may be drama and stuff that arises. Like every 6 months, there's some sort of drama. Somebody's gonna start some shit with me, try to come at. I shouldn't say that. We just talked about Easter and Jesus. I should say stuff. People will try to start some stuff with me. People will run around and spread rumors and talk crap on the internet, and they'll go to other chat rooms, and then they'll start forming an army against me, and they'll start all talking shit stuff about me. This is a regular thing, and if you've been here for a while, you've probably figured out that it's not going to stop me. That I'm still going to be doing this in 5 years, and we're going to grow. And the soldiers who ride with me, when I'm in a position where I'm doing better, the people that offer me a hand along the way, I'm gonna be like, yo, I gotta take care of Mr. Mad. I gotta not take care of. I'm not saying you guys need to be taken care of, but I'm gonna hook them when I have the means to do it. I'm gonna hook them up with a gift or something. Send Mr. Matt a gift. Send Lord Spike a gift. I don't have the means to do it right now, but 5 years, this thing is gonna grow. It may be slow, but it will happen though, and I'll still be here. I'll still be here doing shows. It don't matter what sort of controversy or dirt people want to throw. And I learn lessons. I learn lessons like don't trust internet people. Don't don't make outside relationships and friendships with people that you think are cool, because you can't trust these snakes. So, we'll keep a barrier. Keep a barrier between people. It sucks that it doesn't suck, but it really makes me not want to talk about my life anymore to anybody on the show or nothing. Don't tell no stories. Don't talk about nothing. Because people like to try to use your past against you. But I always thought my past is what made me stronger. My past is what made me who I am. So I'm just going to put it all out there. But people still like to lie and make up stories and spread rumors to try to make you look worse. So maybe I can't do that. Maybe all we can talk about is news and politics. Maybe I can't do open panels anymore with strangers and new people who I don't know. Maybe I have to vet everybody before I talk to them. Or maybe I just do debates. I just do organized debates. You come on, you do a debate, and then you leave. Or I do guest appearances where I just do an interview and talk to somebody, and then they leave. But either way, I'm going to figure it out. I'm very observant. And I see people, and I see things. And I give people the benefit of the doubt, and it's not worth it. So we'll just stop doing that. Your transparency is what makes your show better. Yeah, I try, but and then I know some people, sometimes we get dirty. I know like if I start talking about my past drug experience and stuff, I know Lord Spike doesn't want to hear that stuff. A lot of people aren't going to want to hear that stuff, but some people might need to hear it. When we start talking about sex and relationship stuff, I know C-Sal doesn't want to hear that stuff. I know C-Sal ain't trying to listen to that. But some people need to hear it. Some guys might need to hear it. So, I don't know. We'll keep going. We'll keep living. We'll keep learning. And just know that when people talk smack and spread rumors and stuff, they might not be telling you the whole story. They might be blatantly lying. They might be blatantly lying about many things. They might be telling somewhat of the truth, but you don't know the whole story. And it's none of your damn business, because I am pretty open about my life. But there's some things that I've done in my life that I don't want people to know, and I'm ashamed of it. I've said I have skeletons in my closet before. I've done some stuff I shouldn't have done. And that's between me and Jesus. I'm not a politician. You don't need to do an expose and dig into my past to find out my deep, dark secrets. It's not necessary. Just a guy on the internet. And I've shared lots of stuff about my life. But if there's something that, Well, I just won't have private conversations with people from the internet anymore. Because you think you can trust somebody and you can't. I got his book. We all got chapters of our lives we'd rather forget, but it's part of our journey to our current state. Exactly, Stubborn One. Right. We've all done some stuff we're not proud of. But good thing Jesus died. Happy Easter, because we can be forgiven of that. People don't forgive. God forgives. People remember things and they store them up and they try to use them as ammunition to hurt somebody. It's not even the people doing it. It's the demons that live in them doing it. That's whatever, Jess. We all got bullshit in our past. No need to be shamed. Yeah. But anyway, I never heard blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Dean, it happens. It happens. It's not a big deal, Dean. Don't worry about it. Just some revelations I've had. We have discernment. Or do like Tyler Zed from Zeducation and just have a story for everything. Yeah. Or I could do like Theo Vaughn. I could just start making up stories. And then you'll never know when I'm telling the truth or what. All the stories I tell are true about my life. But I might just start making up some fake stories to throw in there every now and then. That way you never really know what's the truth and what's a lie. When people come at you like that, they're weak. Yeah. Or they just can't handle their liquor. Loose tongues. Loose lips sink ships. Can't keep somebody around like that. Loose lips sink ships. If you can't handle your what you're saying when you're drunk, you maybe gotta drink less. Or just don't drink. But anyway, Theo Vaughn is funny. I want to see Theo Vaughn on the Fallen State. I think that would be the best episode ever. But I don't think Jesse would get. I don't know. I don't even know if that would work. That would be a weird. I don't know if they would vibe off each other well. Because Theo's going to say weird stuff and then Jesse's just going to look at him like, what are you talking about? And not understand that it's a joke and that that's his version of comedy. And then Jesse's going to say some deep stuff and Theo is going to get emotional. I don't know. That would be a crazy episode of Fallen State. They got to get that done. I'm praying for that one. That would be the best. Easter's coming, so tighten up, everyone. No, it wasn't you. I'm not talking about you, Mr. Mad. You get loose lips when you drink too. And sometimes it seems like you're trying to hurt people when you get drunk, like you're trying to be vicious. I wasn't talking about you though. But yeah, you said some kind of messed up stuff when you were drunk to me. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Theo Vaughn's in the hospital. I listen to many live podcasts. I observe and listen not to judge, but to understand me more. Yeah. That's why I like talking to people. And that's why I like having debates with people, especially people that I agree with stuff. If I agree with a lot of things with you, I want to debate the things that we disagree on. I think debating is important. I think it's necessary. And there's a lot of wars that have happened, a lot of violence, and a lot of stuff that could be happened if people just talked beforehand. And if we actually had some contentious debates about tough issues where people disagree to get to the bottom of it, or at least try to get to the bottom of it. But yeah, I like talking to people because I like learning about myself. I like talking to people that everybody tells me I shouldn't be talking to. Maybe that's me being stupid. Because every time people warn me and I'm like, I'm gonna try to be nice. I'm gonna try to show love. And it backfires. This has been a good show. I enjoyed it. Thank you, BYs. I don't think I try to be vicious. Sometimes I just like talking shit, spices things up. It ain't never personal though. Oh no, man. When you've been drinking, you can say some pretty hurtful things. For some people would consider it hurtful, but you never hurt me. But you have said some stuff before, and I'm like, damn. Okay, you're going a little too far, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I'm not worried about it. Be wise agrees. Agreed. All right, guys. I'm gonna head out. Thank you for watching. Yeah, we did decent tonight. A little worried. I thought there was gonna be some trash talking or something, but it didn't seem to happen. That's okay. That's good. Yeah, we had like 18 people at one point, so doing good. You know, when I first started this show, we were getting like 30 viewers every time. And it's like little chunks of people just, I don't know. I guess I can be an asshole sometimes. So maybe that's why. But shut everything. Shut everything. Dude, shut up. Shut everything. You shut up. You shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Zip it. When a problem comes along, you must zip it. Zip it good. Oh, Misha Wu. Subtitle, zip it. I told people about you in Terry's stream, Josh. Oh, nice. Cool. Terry was here earlier. What's up, Matthew? Let me know if it happens. It's okay to check me, Evan Williams. It's okay to check Evan Williams sometimes. God-given rights? I don't think God gives rights. I don't think God gave God-given rights. I mean, God-given rights? What is a right, though? Depends on what your definition of right is. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate it. I'm going to head out, guys. It's 8 o'clock. I got to get going. But I will see you. I'm going to try to do frequent streams this week. Just doing gaming streams, reacting to videos and debates and stuff. Playing some games, watching a debate, talking about it. And then Friday, either Friday or Saturday, we're going to paint some eggs. Maybe Friday night we'll do the egg painting because it's Good Friday. Paint some Easter eggs. And then Saturday during the stream, I'll eat some egg salad sandwiches and I'll have gas. That's a great way to end the show, huh? Isn't that a great way to end on? Ooh, I got tuna. I can make tuna salad. I got onions. I got tuna. I got pickles. And I got pickle juice. So I can make pickled eggs after I make the Easter eggs. Nice. I'm excited. But that's the plan for the week. Happy Easter, everybody. If I don't see you before Easter, hopefully I will. I'll see you later, guys. God bless Matthew, Spike, Stubborn Rome, Dean, Nesio, Matthew, everybody. I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace. Hit the like button on your way out, too.